blames him anyway.
He wound up kidnapping my daughter and taking her to another state without my permission.
That is what happened, though.
You're treating her as if she was an innocent. She's not.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Candace Brower is suing her daughter's ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Jonathan Arana, for wrecking her car.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, this is case number 130 on the calendar, the matter of Brower versus Arana.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
No, she's going to go stand next to her mother. Thank you, Bird.
No problem.
Your first name is?
Shelby.
Okay. Miss Brower, you know absolutely nothing about this case because you weren't present when the accident occurred with your car. Is that correct?
I know some other details,
You
just
don't know
what I
any of
had to do afterwards.
You don't know any of the details
No.
of the accident because you weren't there.
No.
The only two people that were in your car were your daughter and her maybe ex-boyfriend. So I'm going to ask you to switch places with your daughter because the only reason because you're the registered owner of the car.
Yes, me and my husband.
Okay. The accident occurred on what date?
I believe it was March 27th.
Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like you to keep your voice up. Look like you're animated. Look like you're in a courtroom. Look like you're engaged. Not engaged, but engaged in what's happening here. March 27th. At what time, Shelby?
1 o'clock in the morning.
Just you and what's your first name?
John.
Just you and John in the car?
Yes.
Who was driving, Shelby?
John.
Do you drive? Do you have a license?
Yes.
So you elected to have John drive your mother's car?
He wasn't supposed to be driving the car. I drove down
Okay. So you drove down where?
to Missouri,
What were you doing in Missouri?
going to see his mom.
Was that a pre-planned visit?
To us, but not my parents.
I don't care about your parents. This is not about your parents.
Yes, it was a
Now-
pre-planned visit.
Okay, so you planned with John to go to Missouri to visit with his mother. You borrowed your mother's car.
Yes.
See how easy this is? I sift right through the baloney that's in this complaint written by your mother and answer, which I will read in a second. So you borrowed your mother's car, and you drove to Missouri.
Yes.
Why did John drive home?
We weren't driving home.
Where were you driving?
I drove to Missouri. I was the only one that was supposed to be driving the car. We were on our way home.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. So you drove to Missouri, and you visited with his mother.
Yes.
How many hours did you visit with his mother?
We were staying with her for a week.
How long did you tell your mother you were going to be away?
A week.
Where did you tell her you were going?
Tennessee.
What were you supposed to be doing in Tennessee?
Staying with his grandma.
Now, can you think of any reason why your mother would be happier if you were staying with his grandmother in Tennessee than with his mother in Missouri? Because you lied about something, right?
I have type 1 diabetes and
What?
I have type 1 diabetes and his grandma has more knowledge about it than his.
And his mother.
Yes.
Okay, so you lied to your mother. You told her you were going to Tennessee when you had a pre-planned arrangement with John to go to visit his mother in Missouri, with whom you stayed for a week.
Yes.
Now, during that week's time, did you call your mother?
Yes.
And she asked how his grandmother was?
From time to time, yes.
And you said, oh, grandma's fine?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, now it's time to come home. And
It happened we crashed the morning of the 27th.
on
we were
your way
supposed to be-
home,
No.
where were you going?
We had gotten in an argument that night, and he started drinking in the car and started pulling out of the driveway, and I ran after
The driveway
him.
of his mother's house?
Yes.
Okay.
In my mom's car, and I jumped in the passenger seat trying to stop him, and we got in the accident then.
What did you get into an argument about?
I got a call from a random number, and it was from some boys that were trying to get with me. That made him upset.
Okay, so it was about jealousy.
Yes.
So he was upset that he saw a random male caller.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did he start drinking before or after he saw this random male caller?
That is the reason why he started drinking.
Okay, so then he started drinking, and you were arguing in his mother's house?
Yes.
Okay, so he jumped in the car. Now, while you were in Missouri visiting his mother, I assume you traveled around?
We went to a lake once.
And when you went to the lake, who drove?
I did.
Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were really the only one driving the car. You drove there to Missouri.
Yes.
And you drove to the lake. So far, are we correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or his mom drove her car.
Okay. Now, just so that the people, hopefully 10 million people who are out there watching today understand why I took the testimony of Shelby, because having to go out of the country, and I was relieved. He asked permission to take my daughter on a final date so they could say their goodbyes. Listen to this fairy tale. I was reluctant, but I agreed under the circumstances because I was thankful he would no longer be around my daughter. I allowed my daughter to take my car and drive to his grandmother's house, but only if he left his car at my house. This was to ensure that he would return her home safely. He wound up kidnapping my daughter and taking her to another state without my permission. That doesn't sound anything like the story that I just heard from Shelby.
That is what happened, though.
Listen to me. You made it appear to me that he borrowed the car to say goodbye to her for an evening. He ended up kidnapping her and taking her out of state. That's what it sounded like here. This was a prearranged date where your daughter lied to you where she was going.
They both did.
No. He has no duty to tell you the truth. Be nice if he told you the truth. She's your daughter. She got you to agree to give her the car so that they could ride to Missouri by telling you a lie.
No, Your Honor, I preferred that they took my vehicle so I knew she was coming back. His vehicle was left at my house.
That's fine. What I'm telling you is your daughter lied to you, but she continued to lie every day when she spoke to you and said, Grandma's fine.
Absolutely.
Good. We now know Romeo and Juliet went to visit his mother, and they got into a kerfuffle after a week. Now, Jonathan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now we're going to talk about the 27th. Take your hands out of your pockets. Very good. Tell me about the 27th.
That evening, Your Honor, we were watching TV, and one of my exes had gotten in contact with me over Facebook Messenger, and Shelby saw it while we were watching TV, and that's what initiated the argument that we had gotten into.
I thought it was a boyfriend.
I don't know about a call that she had gotten.
So it was a girlfriend an
ex-girlfriend.
An ex-girlfriend, yes, who contacted you.
Yes.
That sounds more logical. Shelby, that sounds more logical to me. Now, were you drinking?
I had a few drinks that night, yes.
Okay. Then you tell me why you got behind the wheel of a car.
It had been a few hours, Your Honor.
I don't care if it was a few hours. What did you get behind the wheel of a car for? It was at night. Where were you going?
I was going on a drive and to get some cigarettes, Your Honor.
You were going on a drive, but according to both Shelby and to you, you had not driven the car. She drove to Missouri, she drove to the lake, and the only other driving that...
Well, we were driving. I had taken off. She was in the car. We were arguing about this ex-girlfriend. I was trying to calm her down, but she was... So we were arguing. I was trying to calm her down. She hit me, and when she hit me, I looked over at her, and when I looked over at her, I swerved. And when I swerved, I didn't see the ditch coming up. And
the ditch just snuck up on you. You think it would have snuck up on you as fast if you hadn't had a couple of drinks?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're treating her as if she was an innocent.
No.
She's not. I'm not excusing him. I want to tell you something. They didn't have a fight over a boyfriend of hers. They had a fight over an ex-girlfriend contacting him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Candace Brower says her daughter's ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Jonathan Arana, drove her car without permission and wrecked it.
Okay. What kind of car were you driving, Shelby?
A 2005 Pontiac G6.
Do you have the police report?
No.
Why not?
Because he said that the police said they would not come and do a report. So I called the state troopers.
How did you get the car home?
My husband had to drive to Missouri, run a trailer, and pull the car back.
And then what did you do with it? I'd like to see photos of it.
And I have the text messages also.
I just want to see the pictures of the car. I have no idea.
That's the inside as the airbags were deployed. Which
okay, so the airbag was deployed.
Both airbags were deployed, and the front end, the whole front clip would have to
Well,
be
I
replaced.
can't see that. That's not $5,000 worth of damage. Can I see a picture of the whole car?
I don't have a picture of the whole car. I have a picture of the car before it was wrecked.
No, I need a picture of the car now.
That's what it is. I mean, I have an
It's very hard for me to tell what this is.
That's
I understand the
hitting the
airbags were
front end.
deployed. There's a certain amount of money
That's
that it
the
costs.
front end. That's the grill, and it's the front end of the car. It went into the ditch, ripping the spoiler off on the front, the whole clip on the front.
What I'd like to see, first of all, Bird, would you look up 2005 Pontiac?
That was the issue, was just because the airbags had deployed, the car is considered totaled. Because when we took it in for an estimate, he told us, don't waste your money fixing it. He said it's not
right. But just because airbags are deployed in an accident, insurance companies don't total a car.
In that car for that year, it would be totaled because of the damage.
Maybe that's true. Would you?
And I have the estimate from.
I'd like to see it.
And I also have from the U-Haul where my husband went and picked it up.
I don't care about that.
Your Honor, I also have text messages where he says, like, he's sorry for being a disrespectful piece of, and...
I don't care about his text messages.
And that he won't have any contact with us, me or my daughter, at all, unless it's to pay the money he owed for the car. And I had to get a no-contact order through the military, through his first sergeant, to stop contact between the two of them.
You have to understand something. You're treating her as if she was an innocent.
No.
She's not. She's not an innocent. I'm not excusing him.
Absolutely
He
not.
shouldn't have gotten behind the wheel of the car. He shouldn't have taken the car. He shouldn't have had 2 drinks and taken the car. But there's no question that your daughter, who is pretty good at lying...
Absolutely.
Because she already lied to you.
Yes.
I want to tell you something. They didn't have a fight over a boyfriend of hers. They had a fight over an ex-girlfriend contacting him.
I don't know what it was.
I'm telling you.
That's not true.
Yeah.
There's no proof of that.
What?
There's no proof of that.
You want to know what my proof is? I'm 73 years old and I had 5 children. I have 13 grandchildren. Just a second. Just a second. I don't answer your questions.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Boys just tend to be dirty. They don't clean up after themselves. Girls are manipulative. They lie. The nature of the beast. Most of them get better when they get older. Some don't.
And later today,
The year and make of this truck?
It's a 1966 Chevy.
What year were you born?
87.
I would generally use that as a yardstick, buying a vehicle, unless you have a lot of money.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Candace Brower says her daughter's ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Jonathan Arana, drove her car without permission and wrecked it.
Now, you're suing for $5,000, correct?
Yes.
How much do you think your daughter's responsibility is?
I think she's partially responsible.
I do, too.
I really don't think it matters where we were. If his ex-girlfriend contacted him and we were in Tennessee, the same situation would have happened.
Just a second. I want you to repeat this to me again. I want to absorb it. It wouldn't have made any difference if his ex-girlfriend contacted him if you were in Tennessee or Missouri. Is that what you just said?
I believe if that's what happened, if it happened in Tennessee or Missouri.
I got it.
It was a nightmare when they got back.
Just a second. I got it. But I want you to know that teenage girls, like her age, boys just tend to be dirty.
Mm-hmm.
They don't clean up after themselves. Girls are manipulative.
Oh, yeah.
They lie. The nature of the beast. Most of them get better when they get older. Some don't. In any event, I absolutely agree with you that she is partially responsible.
But
a partial responsibility is
I
going to be
also
$1,000. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. We're done here. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
these are
Judy.
excused. You may step out.
It was a nightmare.
Her daughter lied to her about it. It's not my responsibility to tell her the truth.
Every teenager lies.
Stay away from younger women.
Every teenager doesn't lie, just the ones that choose to.
Don't drink and drive.
Maybe me and my family can move past this and stop holding it over my head.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ulibarri versus Harney. Step forward.
Chris Ulibarri is suing his former schoolmate, 25-year-old Mike Harney, for substandard bodywork on his truck.
Mr. Ulibarri, the defendant was a friend of yours, and you needed some work done on a truck. What kind of work?
I also needed a bunch of miscellaneous things like the bed done to it as well. I needed a welded hitch. I needed a stereo system.
How much did you pay for the truck?
I actually ended up trading it straight across for a 2004 Volvo S60.
And the year and make of this truck?
Is a 1966 Chevy C10 short wide bed. It's a V8.
1966, did you say?
Yes, ma'am.
What year were you born?
87.
I would generally use that as a yardstick, buying a vehicle, unless you have a lot of money. Anyway, you bought this thing that you had to have. It needed a lot of work done, and your friend knows how to do that work. So you agreed to trade him a motorcycle and a gun in exchange for doing the work on the car. Your claim is that you turned over the motorcycle to him and the title, I assume.
No, ma'am.
So you gave him a motorcycle with no title.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the motorcycle?
It was broke down. I sold it.
To whom?
I gave it away to a friend to fix. His name's Joe.
What about the gun?
The gun I got, and I gave it to my father as a gift.
What kind of gun was it?
It was a .22.
That's incorrect, ma'am.
What was it?
It was a Winchester 30-30. It was 1959. It was my father's gun. Anything before 64 is...
All you have to do is show me the pictures of the truck when you gave it to him and when you got it back from him. Because what your claim is that you had to give it to somebody else to finish the job. You want your Winchester rifle back.
So right here I
have... Which you may have to get from your father. Which you may have to get from your father.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yep. Before, and these are
Good.
after pictures as well.
After.
Yes, sir.
Before. After.
Oh, so somebody had painted this, it looks like, with bathroom paint. You know,
They put a primer on it before.
Is this the way you returned the car to him?
Yes, the bodywork, the multiple colors on there, that's all Bondo that was repairing the damage on the truck.
Looked better before.
It looked worse.
Not to me. How many hours did you spend doing whatever you had to do on this?
For several months before our confrontation, I worked about 2-3 times a week, maybe 6 to 7, 8 hours a day.
Okay. Now I'd like to see a bill from somebody that you paid to finish whatever work this was.
Right. So I have right here $1,500 for the paint job I already prepaid. And I had the quote for after he ruined it, how much it was going to cost me to actually fix his mistake.
I understand that, because that's not what you do.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, he's going to get the rifle back from his father, because that's the only valuable piece that you gave him.
I talked to his father, and he told me that they actually...
Just a second. He's going to have to get the rifle back from his father.
Correct.
You can't tell me what his father said to you.
Correct.
Because I will give you a judgment which indicates the rifle belongs to you. You take it to a marshal. You don't go to his father's house and you say, this rifle belongs to me, and I have a judgment because the two of you agreed to abide by my judgment.
Yep.
And then you will get your rifle. The motorcycle that you had no title for, I'm not giving you any credit for. So now you're only out what you have to put into the car.
Okay.
Because what you paid was actually the Winchester rifle. So we're done here. You're going to get your rifle back. We understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. That's all. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
95% of the body's done. I'm done here.
He's unprofessional.
Issue in 5 years.
Basically, he got over on me. And that's that.
Just don't do business with friends.
Don't let friends work on your truck. Listen to me.
I assume that this is what the two of you fought over.
A Casanova gets caught.
He tells me, my baby mama here. I said, hey, what are you doing? And he said, hey,
And someone or something would pay.
The next thing I know, I see her pulling pieces off my car.
She just broke up with you 4 weeks before, so she knew it was somebody else's car. Oh, I love this.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller is suing her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend Kelly Tennant for vandalizing her vehicle and an assault.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 186, Your Honor, in the matter of Speller versus Tennant. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
I assume that this is the prize.
Or lack thereof.
I assume that this is the prize. I assume. Now, you have children with him.
That's correct.
How many?
2.
And you lived together ever?
Yes.
From when to when?
From 2012 to just recently.
What's just recently?
April of 2016.
And when did you start to see, what's your last name?
Garcia.
When did you start to see Mr. Garcia?
The first week of May 2016.
And on May 27th of 2016, while you were seeing Mr. Garcia, and you weren't seeing Mr. Garcia, you and Mr. Garcia went over to his mother's house for a visit?
We were picking up some roller skates that he owned because we were going to go out skating that night.
And you drove your car?
Correct.
His mother has a house with a driveway?
There was, that's correct. There was a car parked in the driveway. Even if there wasn't a car.
I'm trying to put this picture in my mind. So you drove your car and parked it where?
On the street in front of his house, or his mother's house.
Did you go inside? Did Mr. Garcia go inside?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, Miss Tennant showed up.
Correct.
Where were you and Mr. Garcia when Miss Tennant showed up?
I was in the restroom. He was outside.
So the next thing you know, when you come out of the restroom, Mr. Garcia is outside, and so is Miss Tennant.
No. The next thing I know, when I come out of the restroom, he's coming into the house.
Okay. Do you have a conversation with him?
He tells me, my baby mama here, my baby mama here.
Is that the way he said it to you?
That's the way he said it to me.
You remember that? Say yes or no.
No, ma'am.
Then I don't want to hear from you at all. You're back together again, right?
Yes.
Perfect. And?
So when he says that, my thought is...
Don't tell me, I don't care what you were thinking. He says,
my baby mama here, my baby mama here. Let me put you outside in the backyard and deal with her, and then when I'm done, we can go.
Okay. Did you go through the house to the backyard? Did you know how to get to the backyard?
He semi-walked me there, but I knew how to get there because I'd been there before.
So you walked to the backyard?
That's correct.
And what's the next thing that happened?
The next thing that happened, to my understanding, I hear them arguing. I hear her saying comments such as, why don't you want to be with me? Why are you breaking up our family? We have kids together. Who is she? Where is she? Type of those are the comments I'm hearing from her. From him, I'm hearing, just leave, just leave. You're not supposed to be here. It doesn't matter who she is. It doesn't matter. There's nobody here. It doesn't matter. Just leave, just leave. That's what I'm hearing from him. And from her, I'm just hearing
Okay, so you're listening from the backyard as to what's going on.
That's correct.
You're listening. What's the next thing?
I went to the back door to see if I could get in the house because I wanted to leave. By this point in time, that's their drama. So I couldn't get back into the house through the back door, so I went around to the fence to try to get out of the gate so I could go to my car and leave. I couldn't get out the gate either because there was something keeping the latch closed. But I can see through the fence them arguing. I can see my car pretty much right in front of me. They're arguing back and forth, still saying the same types of conversations.
Gotcha.
And then the next thing I know, I see her pulling pieces off my car. I had weather strips on all 4 doors. I see her just pulling pieces off the car. When I see that, between the pulling and her movements, there's a huge dent in the side of my door. I saw all of this. I told Ryan, open this gate and let me out of here. She's not about to be damaging my property. He was like, you show right, open the gate. And I went towards my car. I wasn't thinking about her. I was ready to leave. She's coming towards me, shouting all kinds of things that don't even matter at this point. And then the next thing I know, she's swinging on me. I don't know how many times she hit me before I swung back.
Okay, let's stop there. I'd like to see what the car looked like.
Okay.
What the damage was to the car.
So these first 2 pictures are the original, what the car looked like when I dent from different angles.
I want to see what the weather stripping was. Can I see
you
that?
You can see that only on the first picture. I believe I have an arrow pointed to the weather stripping.
See. The plastic.
Mm-hmm. Harder plastic. So there had to have been some force used to pull them off.
Okay.
And the last 2 pictures, I believe, have a black stripe going down. That's my belt shut in the door to demonstrate that it's not flush against the door.
Right estimate.
I do.
I'd like to see them. Did your insurance cover part of this?
My insurance covered none of it. I did not file a claim with the insurance.
Okay. Now, Miss Tennant, did you drive there or walk there?
Drove there.
Was it prearranged that you go to his mother's house?
Earlier that day it was.
I don't believe you. Okay, I don't believe you.
Okay.
Okay. And when you went by the house, you saw a car in the front.
Yes, I did.
Had you ever seen that car before?
No, ma'am.
Now, you went there to see his mother or to see him?
To see Ryan.
So that you want me to believe, this is what you want me to believe. You want with you to see you at his mother's house, and he brought his girlfriend with him because he's either stupid. Is he stupid?
No, he's not stupid.
Is he vicious?
No, he's made a mistake.
Just a second. Now, that's not a mistake. That's either stupid or vicious. That's not a mistake. If you invite the mother of your children over for a visit and you bring your girlfriend with you to that meeting and you hide her in the backyard, that's either very stupid or vicious. That's not a mistake. You know, a mistake is if you order your tuna fish sandwich on rye and you like it on whole wheat. That's a mistake. So we're going to start from the beginning. You went over there and you had an arrangement to meet him there or not?
Yes, I spoke to him earlier that day saying that I would come over towards the end of the evening. And that's when I arrived. And when I say end of the evening, it was before like midnight. It was like way before even 8 o'clock.
Do you know, just from your body English, I know you're lying to me. It's so fascinating how after 40 years you could tell just from body English when somebody's lying.
I've got proof in my phone that shows that we had plans to see each other that evening.
Then he's either stupid or vicious.
Okay, then that's him, not me.
I just want you to know then he's either stupid or vicious.
Okay.
So now you go over there because who you're back with now and who was the father of your children, he happens to bring his girlfriend with him to the meeting. And when you realize that he's there with somebody, because at some point you realized that he was there with somebody. Now, at what point did you realize that he was there with somebody?
When she came running.
Just a second.
Okay.
At what point? You come in and you knock at the door, ring the bell. What do you do?
No, he was outside, getting out of the car, going into the house.
Had you forgotten cigarettes? Had you forgotten something in the car?
I was already sitting in the car, Your Honor.
You were what?
I was already sitting in the car.
Oh, she was just inside going to the bathroom. Is that right?
Yes.
When were you going to get your skates?
They were already in the car.
Okay, so now I got it. You were going roller skating. You had already picked up the roller skates and went back to the car with your girlfriend, and then she had to use the restroom, so you waited in the car.
Yes.
In the passenger seat?
In the driver's seat.
So you were driving her car?
Yes.
Okay, and she, of course, knows that it's not your car because she just broke up with you 4 weeks before, so she knew it was somebody else's car. Oh, I love this. Perfect. It's setting up the whole picture. So you come by the house and you see boyfriend in somebody else's car and they dropped up the roller skates to go roller skating with his girlfriend that night. Now you understand all that. So I would lean towards stupid rather than vicious if I were you. And you see him and he's getting out of the car and
so he proceeds to walk towards the house. And I said, hey, what are you doing? And he said, hey, didn't really know what to say. So he said, my friend is letting me use this car while he's at work, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
I didn't believe that.
Just like you didn't believe that? You didn't believe that because... So you know when somebody is lying to you.
Absolutely.
Great. So let's go. So he went,
Okay. And so then I said, well, let me see who is in the house. And I went through the house. There's no one there. So I walked back into the front. We're standing parallel to her car. And we were talking about the situation. And he was like, no, I promise you, this person's car, he would not admit to that it was anybody else's car besides, I guess, a friend. So, yeah.
Great. You want to stop there?
No, I can continue.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then at that point, we were arguing back and forth with each other. And then I looked over to the gate and I saw Stacy. And so sure enough, at this point, it's getting really hot and heavy between me and him and we're yelling. And she comes screaming out of the gate. She wants to fight, so we start fighting up against her car. Yes, I fought her based on self-defense, and she is all against me on the car, you know, and from the fighting, it must have ruined the car. And then after all of that happened, then the police came, and when the police came, they asked us to give them our statements, and at that point, the police said, well, it looks like...
Tell me. Shh. Don't tell me what the police said. That's hearsay.
Okay, well,
I'll look at a police report.
They let us both go. Nobody got arrested.
I'll look at the police report. But don't tell me what the police said. Police report is a business record.
The police report says nothing about us fighting against the car.
Can I just see the police report?
You sure can.
Don't editorialize the police report. Just let me see it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You wanted to be as truthful as possible with them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you wouldn't lie to the police.
No, ma'am. I never seen that, though.
That's what you... That's not what I'm... Just a second. That's not what I asked you.
And later today...
What young people do.
I do, too.
You spend a lot of money on just the wheels?
Oh, no, not on wheels.
Oh, it gets worse, Your Honor.
No, not as you get older. As
Okay.
you get older, you get smart.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller says her ex-boyfriend used her car and assaulted her during a confrontation.
Stand up. I have a few questions for you. You're Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're the prize. Okay. Now, you ultimately spoke to the police.
Yes.
And you spoke to the police just a couple of days after this event took place.
A day after, yes.
When your mind is clear.
Yeah.
Now, we know that, you know, between stupid and vicious, I'm leaning towards the former.
Mm-hmm.
But even stupid people don't lie to the police, especially if they're not being accused of anything, right? The police weren't accusing you of anything.
No.
Right? They
No,
didn't
ma'am.
come to arrest you on this outstanding marijuana problem that you had.
Yes.
They didn't come there for that. What they came there was for you to tell them your version of what happened, because they had a police report that they had to close out, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to be as truthful as possible with them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you wouldn't lie to the police.
No, ma'am.
Because lying to the police, you could go to jail. That's, you know, we all sadly know people who that's happened to. They think it's okay to tell a little white lie, and they go to the slammer for 18 months, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you would tell them the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the day after this incident, when your mind was really fresh, you said that Miss Tennant kicked the front passenger door of the plaintiff's car and destroyed 3 of the weather strips from the Dodge windows. That's what you told. That's what you. That's not what I'm. Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said that's what you told the police.
Yes, ma'am.
Sit. So, Miss Tennant, so not only don't I believe you, which was good instinctively, but I wasn't sure until I read it, because he was going to get up there and tell me a whole other story.
Oh, and he was going to
No, he was going to tell me a whole other story. Otherwise, why would you bring him? If he was going to tell me the truth if I questioned him, you're not stupid. If he was going to tell me the truth as to what he told the police the day after, why would you bring him to court? That would make you just as dumb. The next question, she's suing you for 2 things. She's suing you for both the damage to her car, which is a little over $1,000, and she's suing you for assault. She's suing you for assault.
Okay,
she
so
says you
if
get.
she's
I'm
gonna-
speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
So you were storing them, and?
I could no longer afford to pay the storage fees for all of the various parts, so I started liquidating various components of the inventory that I had left. And his wheels were sold.
So you sold them twice.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller says her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Kelly Tennant, vandalized her car and assaulted her during a confrontation.
Ream out on a car, pulling a car apart and kicking it. There is no question in my mind that you went after her first. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount that you're requesting, $2,000. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's lying about everything. The reason she wants the restitution is so that she can go and pay back the loan.
She's right. There was a loan taken out to get him out of jail because he cried like a little...
That she used to get her precious prize out. Get me out of jail. I have... But it's okay. She's broke. She's got her $2,000.
Not because I'm broke. Not because I want this or want that.
Now she can live her life the way that she chooses to. 33 years old, broke is...
Because he lied. This happened because he's a liar.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Spencer versus Kornfeld. Step forward.
23-year-old Blake Spencer is suing William Kornfeld for the return of money he paid for rims he never received.
Mr. Spencer, what do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
What kind of car do you drive?
Kia Optima, 2012.
And the rims alone that you purchased from the defendant, you purchased them online from him?
Yes, I did. On a forum specifically for our car.
And you spent $1,000 for that?
Yes, I did.
And they were used rims?
Yes, they were from his car originally.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Mine.
What kind of business are you in now?
Construction.
Where were you keeping your stuff?
I had an office space.
Where?
Originally in Santa Ana.
And was that an office or was it a warehouse?
It was an office.
How big?
The office space was approximately 500 square feet with a storage facility that didn't belong to me that was approximately 2,000 square feet.
That you used?
It was owned by my best friend at the time, so I was granted some permissions, but it was a sandblasting facility, so it was quite dirty.
Now, why were you selling the rims from your personal car?
I had purchased a new car and was just taking that car apart and getting ready to turn it in from the lease.
So you had added those rims yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
That you purchased from somebody else?
Correct.
Who did you purchase them from?
Amazon.
So they were new?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much did you pay for them, new?
I don't remember. Somewhere between $300 and $350 a wheel, so approximately $1,400.
It's what young people do.
I do too.
You do too?
Yeah.
You've spent a lot of money on just the wheels?
Oh, no, not on wheels. I use Amazon.
Oh, it gets worse, Your Honor.
No, not as you get older. As
Okay.
you get older, you get smarter.
I wouldn't do it again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook.
But they had to be, I don't know, polished, or they had to be re-chromed or whatever, and you said that you would do that for him.
Correct.
So he left them with you, and he left them with you for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
How long?
Over a year.
And where were they for the year?
Sitting in the corner of my front storage area right next to my packing and shipping table.
Was that in the office?
Yes.
In Santa Ana? So where are his rims?
They're gone now. They endured two separate moves, one from our office in Santa Ana to our office in Laguna Hills. And then once our landlords stopped paying the rent on the facility I was in there, a lot of things were locked into that unit when we were locked out. And some stuff moved into private storage facility.
But not his rims?
No, his rims moved into a private storage facility.
Who owns that private storage facility?
At the time, it was Smart Stop Self-Storage.
Did you own it?
Well, I was renting the space from them for a monthly cost.
Okay, so then it moved into the storage space.
Correct.
And then what happened?
I had to pay to store them.
And?
So once the business closed, I could no longer afford to pay the storage fees for all of the various parts, so I started liquidating various components of the inventory that I had left. And his wheels were sold.
So you sold them twice?
Correct.
Great. How much did you pay for the wheels?
$1,000.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
You may step out.
She is now at a dead stop talking to an old high school chum.
Stuck in a parking lot behind a rude driver.
5 minutes is too long. That's being disrespectful.
Then they took their rage onto the road.
Not once, twice, but 3 times, she maneuvers in front of me and cuts me off.
And what do you do, Mr. Fisher?
I jump out of the car.
Now we have a problem.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old Fallon Alanis and her sister, Sophia Alanis, are suing Chad Fisher for car repair costs resulting from a road rage incident.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 115 on the calendar, the matter of Alanis versus Fisher.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Who was driving? Raise your hand. Were you in the car?
No, ma'am.
You can sit down. But you own the car?
Yes, ma'am.
But you were the driver?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fisher, I'm going to start with you. I have to create a visual picture of this so that everybody out there, including myself, understands so they can relate to what happened.
Okay.
You're driving through a parking lot?
Yes.
It's not a big parking lot.
No, very small. And
Parking lot?
Yes.
You had parked there.
No, I actually had gone to the park, and then I had gone through the parking lot because there was construction on the street.
So you were not going through the parking lot to use it for any legitimate reason. You were doing it to circumvent traffic.
Correct.
Now, Miss Alanis was in her car in the moving traffic lane in that parking lot.
Correct.
And she stopped to talk to someone Who were you talking to?
A friend.
Was your friend in a car or on
No,
foot?
he was on foot.
Had you planned to meet him, or was this a chance meeting?
It was a chance meeting.
And where do you know him from?
High school.
Okay, so this is what happened, Mr. Fisher. You're trying to circumvent traffic, and Miss Alanis is stopping in the middle of the parking lot that you are going through in order to avoid the traffic, and she is now at a dead stop talking to an old high school chum.
Correct.
Have I created the word picture for you? You're paying attention.
Paying attention.
Good. And she either doesn't look in her mirror or looks in her mirror and sees you and says, I'm not finished yet. So she doesn't quickly end the conversation.
Well, it wasn't the fact that she was ending her conversation or beginning the conversation. She was just in the middle of traffic, you know, in the way of everybody that was trying to do their business.
Well, right now, you were the only one, your car was the only one trying to get through.
No, not at all.
File.
Yes.
Why were you doing that?
I didn't talk more than 5 minutes.
5 minutes is too long. That's being disrespectful.
Yeah.
So that even if it was just Mr. Fisher, it would have been disrespectful.
Yes.
Because there's one lane that people can use, and they don't have to wait for you for a minute, much less 5 minutes. Who are you?
I'm the dad. Father.
Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So she was being disrespectful. I would actually take away her car privileges for a while.
I agree.
Now, what kind of car were you driving?
It's a small two-door Ford Explorer.
And what kind of car were you driving?
A Kia Forte.
A smaller car.
Yes.
So you're in an SUV, and she's in a Kia.
Yeah.
And you honk your horn, and she blows you off.
Yeah.
What did she yell out the window?
Honestly, I don't know.
You
I
don't
was too much of in a hurry.
Yeah, you know.
Didn't
When
have
I'm
time
finished,
to bother with it.
When I'm finished, I'll move. Whatever.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't, oh, I'm sorry, and I'll move right along.
Yeah.
Right? Something a brat would do. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm with you 100%, Mr. Fisher.
Thank you. Thank
So far, I'm with your aggravation 100%. I don't know what I would have done under the circumstances, but ultimately to get out.
No, that wasn't it at all. I had just gone around her and was going about my business.
Just a second. Did you say anything to her as you passed?
I did, but
You did.
I don't remember.
Did you gesture in any way to her when you passed?
I probably did. I've
probably
been known
did.
to do something like that.
You probably did.
Yeah.
So you gestured to her and went on your way.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Next thing I know, I see this car hauling rear all the way up about 1.5 miles to me to the light where I was turn left. And not once, twice, but 3 times, she maneuvers in front of me and cuts me off. So at this point, I'm as livid. I have my dog in the back. You're using your car as a weapon,
Just
and
a
you're
second.
engaging my dog.
So what you're saying is she came out of the parking lot and she was following you, but while she was following you, she'd pull up in front of you and do what?
She would get in front of me, and then I would get around, and then she would maneuver again
You
and
got
get
around
in
in
front of
front
me.
of you, and you would get...
I would move around.
Okay, so that you were playing a stupid game with her.
Yes, go-karts.
You were playing a stupid game with
Yes,
her.
exactly.
And then what happened?
Then at that point, I'm tired of this action. She's threatening me. She's threatening my dog. So I get out of the car.
That's ridiculous.
Now, right now, you're both acting like idiots.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Just a second. Right now, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
I have a 20-year-old idiot.
Yes.
How is he related to you?
He's my husband.
So he's your 43-year-old idiot.
Oh.
So now you got tired playing chickie with a 20-year-old.
Yes.
And what do you do, Mr. Fisher?
I jump out of the car.
Now we have a problem, Mr. Fisher. First, you pulled up in front of her.
Yes. Blocked her from
Blocked
moving.
her.
Yes,
so she
absolutely.
couldn't move. And you got out of your car. And what did you do?
I reached into the car and tried to grab her keys to shut her car off.
So what you did was, in effect, a kidnapping because you restrained her lawful movement when you blocked her.
I would prefer a citizen's arrest.
No. I know what you would prefer. You would prefer that I were Peter Pan.
Oh, man.
First, you kidnapped her.
Okay.
By blocking her and not letting her move. Then you committed an act of forcible theft by trying to take the keys to her car. That's a robbery. And then what did you do, Mr. Fisher?
Well, I couldn't get the keys, so I just started yelling and screaming at her and pounding on her window.
And then when you were pounding on the window, what happened to the window?
Well, I don't exactly know. I never
What
saw
happened to the window?
He broke my window.
Which window?
With my bare
right.
hands, though? I mean...
Which window?
My right passenger side window. Yes.
So he didn't come to the driver's side, he went to the passenger side that was open.
Yes.
And he broke that window.
He shattered it like a dent into the window. It didn't break fully, but it will.
Okay. So we have kidnapping, we have forcible robbery, and we have vandalism. Then I assume she was trying to put the window up on the passenger side window where you were reaching in.
I'm sure that's what happened. I had so much adrenaline. I mean, it happened so fast. I was, you know...
That's what happens with stupid men and their testosterone. See? Women are smarter, even younger women. She wouldn't get out of the car. I would never get out of the car. I'd roll up the windows. I do a lot of that. I would never get out. Only stupid men get out of the car.
Well, then would you chase the person?
Stupid. No.
Would you chase the person 2 miles to their house? That same person that damaged their...
playing chickie with her. You, with her, were doing this thing. And then you got fed up. So I know what you were doing. So then you acknowledge that you broke the radio when you were reaching in for the keys. I read your answer.
Okay.
You acknowledge that you broke the radio, correct?
Correct.
So, broke the radio, broke the window, got back into your car, and then she started to chase you.
Yes. Crazy.
What?
Crazy. She's chasing me.
Just a second. Mr. Fisher, there...
9 years.
9 years. I'm sure he's otherwise a nice guy.
He really is.
He was just having a bad day.
It was early. He was just taking the dog for a walk. That's all he went to do.
Well, he wasn't
at the
taking
park.
the dog for... Uncross your arms. He wasn't taking the dog for a walk in the car.
No, we drive to the park. It's bigger. It's a better place to walk the dog.
Well, then he wasn't in such a big rush. He wasn't going to his job.
No, not at that moment.
What day of the week was this, by the way, Mr. Fisher?
Maybe a Wednesday or Thursday.
What time of the day?
I would say maybe noon to about 2 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. So then she followed you home, and what happened?
I threw my dog in the house because she's still circling my neighborhood.
Second. So you threw your dog in the house, and now you're safe in the house.
Oh, now my dog's safe in the house.
No, you could have been safe in the house. When you threw your dog in the house, you could have gone into the house.
You're right, I could have. But she's circling my neighborhood.
Just a second. So now you're in the house, and I assume that you have a telephone.
Yes.
And a telephone has a mechanism where you can call 911 and say, there's a crazy person here who just blocked me from moving quickly through a parking lot. Then we engaged in a sort of game of chickie on the road, and then I kidnapped her. I broke her radio. I tried to rob her keys. I vandalized her car. And she's circling my house.
Endangering the public, and I tried to stop them and make a citizen's arrest.
No, you were doing the same thing.
Instead of the whole kidnapping thing.
You were doing the same thing she was.
I was doing a
stupid.
Service.
And you're 43.
Yes.
And she's 20.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you put the dog in the house, and you did what any other 43-year-old moron would do. You got back into your car, and you started to chase her.
Yes.
And you chased her to her house.
Correct.
Okay, now, you have the police report?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Now we've created the word picture. I hope everybody understands it. Listen, Miss Alanis, you understand that your initial rudeness precipitated a series of events that wouldn't have happened if you were a polite driver.
Yes.
I'm not excusing him. Neither is his wife. As a matter of fact, his wife is a lovely lady who would probably like to kill him.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
When did you sell it to them?
The 16th.
Why?
Because she was my best friend, and I...
Don't give me the whole story.
Okay.
Tell me something that I understand, that's logical. Why would you buy a car on April 8th and sell it a week later to your best friend?
Fallon Alonis says fellow motorist Chad Fisher damaged her sister's car when he attacked her on the road. Chad is countersuing for harassment.
Now, were you arrested, Mr. Fisher?
Negative, because the father came back to
Not a because.
All right.
Not a because. I would have arrested you. If I were a police officer, I would have arrested you. Okay, now I'd like to see the damage to the window, and I'd like to see the damage to the radio, and the estimates to have both fixed.
Here you go. The radio isn't broken. It's the door that when he slammed open his door, he dented my door.
Yeah, because I thought there was a dent and a glass that was broken. I've never seen any of the stuff that's been broken either. I've never had an opportunity to look at it, see if I could get my own estimates.
Well, she has 3 estimates. They vary. But one of the things, in addition to the estimates, she is suing you for punitive damages based upon harassment.
I harassed them.
No, you kidnapped her. You attempted to rob her forcibly. While in the process of doing that, you broke her property, which is vandalism. You committed, actually, 3 crimes.
I was putting a stop to her using her car as a weapon.
Okay, great. Judgment for the plaintiff and the amount to
step out.
I mean, it's horrible. You got my dog in the car and she's doing all this. I mean, what's here to stop her from doing somebody else?
He clearly was out of his mind. I was scared for my life.
For some kid or somebody that she's just bullying around. I'm not going to let her bully me around. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, she's right. I should have probably pulled to the side or said, I'm sorry.
I think she's just crazy. I was putting a stop to her. I wasn't kidnapping her or nothing like that or trying to rob her. She's dangerous, so.
But at the end of the day, no matter what I did, I don't think anything in the right mind was right for him to come and swing at my car.
I'm going to be who I am. That's it. That's all I am.
There's just a lot of crazy people, and I hope, I mean, he said he's not going to change his ways, but I hope he does, because I was scared for my life.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of King versus Romero Funes. Step forward.
20-year-old Danielle King is suing her former friend, Flor Funes, and Flor's ex-boyfriend, Nelson Romero, for unpaid car payments, slander, and harassment.
Miss King, they were friends of yours, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you buy a new car?
Yes, I did actually buy a car.
When?
I bought the car on April 8th, 2016.
And you had an old car?
Yes, I do. I still currently have it.
When you purchased a new car in 2016 in April, what kind of a car did you purchase?
A 2005 white Honda Civic.
What kind of car did you sell them?
The 2005 white Honda Civic.
And you purchased the car that you sold them on April 8th?
Yes, ma'am.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you sell it to them?
On the 16th.
On April 16th?
Yes.
Why?
Because she was my best friend and I...
Don't give me the whole story.
Okay.
Tell me something that I understand, that's logical. Why would you buy a car on April 8th and sell it a week later to your best friend?
I didn't really like the car. I'm used to driving my stick shift. The automatic wasn't really going for me.
Well, didn't you do a test drive with it?
Yes, I did. First I liked it, but realized I'm more better with my stick shift. I really like that car.
Who did you buy it from?
I bought it from the man of Morris.
Did you see an ad for it?
Yes, actually on OfferUp. However, the ad is now gone.
And you still have the title to that car?
All the paperwork that was in the car had actually been thrown away by the
that's a big problem. That's a big problem for you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You claim you sold it to them. They say, yeah, we were friends. I borrowed the car. I was using it. The car certainly wasn't in her name.
I do, however, have a witness.
I don't care. You control the fate of that car.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle King says Flor's ex-boyfriend, Nelson Romero, owe for car payments.
How much did you pay Mr. Morris for the car?
I paid him the amount of $2,500.
And when did you buy the other car?
The 2003? I actually won that car a few years ago. I won it 2 years ago at a Quality Nissan.
And how much did you sell the 2005 car, allegedly, to the defendants?
We agreed for $3,000.
So you bought it for $2,500, you had it for 4 days, and you sold it for $500 more?
Yes, ma'am.
To your friends?
Yes, Your Honor.
Interesting. Now, when you paid for the car, did you pay for it, the $2,500 in check or cash?
I paid it in cash, and I have the bill of sale.
I'd like to see a bill of sale. Is it notarized?
It was not notarized.
I'm not interested in it.
Fine.
You bought it in 2008. Did you ever register it in your own name?
No, Your Honor.
No. So the car is not registered in your name, and it's still registered in the name of Morris.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. I love it so far. Then you sold a car that you either owned or didn't own to the defendants, and one of them got pulled over when they were driving the car. For what?
For a broken taillight.
So there was a broken taillight on the car.
Actually, Your Honor, I have a case number. She actually got pulled over.
Well, if it was a broken tail that turned into a DUI, is that what happened?
Yes.
Ah, right. And the car was impounded.
Yes, Your Honor.
And nobody could get it out.
No, Your Honor.
You can't get it out. Not because you didn't have any money, because you're not the registered owner. And she's not the registered owner. You have to be the registered owner to get the car out of impound, right?
I did, however, speak with some of the people at the police
Don't tell me what anybody who you spoke to said. It doesn't make any difference. You have to go with the bill of sale and the title, register the car, and then you have the ability to go in and get it out of impound. Did you ever do that?
I did,
You did not.
attempt, but I did not.
You did not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. Either one of you give her any money for the car?
No.
No money. Did you give her any money?
No.
No.
I never signed no contract in a state in California.
Just a second. You were just using the car.
I borrowed the car.
You borrowed the car. You have a bill of sale with them?
No, I do not.
Miss King, I can't help you. You have two people, neither of whom own a car, neither of whom can get the car out of impound unless you take affirmative action. Your affirmative action is you get from the person allegedly that you bought the car from. So you were smart enough to do that. You claim you sold it to them. They say, yeah, we were friends. I borrowed the car. I was using it. This car certainly wasn't in her name.
I do, however, have a witness.
I don't care. You control the fate of that car.
Yes, Your Honor.
The fate of that car was, as soon as you found out that she was pulled over, which she notified you because I read the papers, you go to DMV, you put the car in your name so that you can get it out, and then if it was a sale, it's a sale. Meanwhile, only Mr. Morris can get the car out because he's the registered owner. You have the title to the car?
Everything was in the car that got throughout. Your Honor, I, however, do have text messages of her harassing me. This is not just a just...
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I sold her a car, and she ended up getting a DUI in the car.
I didn't give her any money. She's just saying that because she slept with him.
When she came back from the drunk tank, she saw me with her cousin, and she says, "Why are you there with my man?"
And she's trying to, cover it up.
Her first cousin is her boyfriend.
Yeah, that's my cousin right here.
She's been harassing me ever since, threatening my family, threatening me, calling my work.
I don't know what happened.
I've been harassed so much, and it took a huge toll, not necessarily just on me, but on my boyfriend and on my family.
Well, with friends like that, what do you need enemies for, right?
It didn't work out in an almost unseemly way.
A roommate's violent eviction.
I have a video of them forcing me out, Your Honor. If I could play it.
Out! Get me out of this house! Out, Bacon! Out!
And there was no going back.
They served me with a temporary restraining order and said the room was empty. Moved everything out.
She took it with her.
I'm only going to listen to one of you. Who's going to tell me the truth?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
19-year-old Lakin Pickrell is suing her former roommates, Francesca Ortega and boyfriend Martin Torres, for the return of rent and security deposit, stolen and damaged property, an assault, and a false restraining order.
Order. All rise.
This case number 149 on the calendar, the matter of Pickrell versus Ortega Torres.
Thank you.
Please.
Ms. Pickrell, you rented a room in an apartment that was either owned or rented by the defendants. And it is your claim that it didn't work out, but it didn't work out in a sort of uncross your arms. It didn't work out in an almost unseemly way. And you were told to leave the apartment. You had already paid your rent for the month of May. Were the authorities called?
Yes, the authorities were called on the 23rd of May until the 27th of May, every day until I was forced out of the residence.
Okay. And what you want is you want your rent back because you had already paid June's rent?
Yes, correct.
And what was the rent they were charging you for the room?
$650 for the room.
When had you moved in? In what month?
I moved in March 1st, 2015.
So March was okay?
Yes, March was fine.
And then you moved your boyfriend in?
Yes, he is staying there.
But with their permission, they charged him an extra $100 a month for increased utilities?
Yes.
When did you move your boyfriend in?
He moved in towards the middle of March, and
And then they accepted your rent for April.
Yes.
Is it correct that you accepted her rent for April?
Yes.
That's either a yes or a no.
No.
He says yes, you say no. You want to discuss it with each other?
It's because she has the dates wrong. She moved in April, not
April's rent.
Yes.
Yeah, she paid the first rent.
Did you?
That's the month she moved in.
I'm only going to listen to one of you.
Okay.
Who's going to tell me the truth? Figure it out.
Lorna, if you're getting the dates wrong, you can say yes.
She paid April's rent, which you accepted, $650.
Yes.
And she paid May's rent,
Yes.
$650.
Yes.
And did she pay April's rent by check or cash?
Check.
And did she pay May's rent by check or cash?
Check.
Check. And did she pay June's rent?
No.
You have check to show me for June?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
It was not a rent for the month. It was a deposit, security deposit. I clearly explained that to her from the beginning.
I don't care what you explained. I want to see the check.
Okay.
I have all three right here, Your Honor.
May I see them, please?
This does state that it was last month. I gave it.
Can I just see what you have? Perfect. Well, April 3rd, you have $500 for rent, okay? Then it went up to $650. Is that because the boyfriend moved in?
That's because I gave her the $150 in cash. I only have the check for the $500 for the last month.
Okay. So you have March 31st, and March 31st was April 3rd. Why would you pay her March 31st and then April 3rd?
That was a security deposit.
I'm sorry.
It's because she wanted an additional $650 for her last month's rent in case anything was to come up, and that's that check.
Or for security. Doesn't
Yes.
make any difference. Perfect. And then I have on May 1st, but what I don't have is June. Where is June?
June is right there.
You could either have June or you can have this as security deposit. Which was it? It can't be June.
Security deposit was not $650. She added $150, and that's what I did give her in cash. That's $650.
That's fine,
rent.
but so you did not pay June's rent.
I did, and I wrote last month's. In the memo, I wrote last month.
Either you paid security or you paid last month's rent.
I paid last month's rent.
Okay, fine. You paid last month's rent when you first moved in. Is that what you're telling me? Is that how you evaluated it? That you paid last month's rent when you first moved in? You paid no security deposit?
I paid last month's rent in the middle, and that was April 3rd, because she wanted to bring that up in the middle.
You can't have it both ways. Either you paid last month's rent or you paid security deposit. Which one was it?
Last month's rent.
Fine. So there's no security. 1 month's rent back, which is $650.
Correct.
Because you weren't there in June. There are two other things. There's a claim here for filing a false restraining order against you. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you all went to mediation with regard to that. Am I also correct?
Yes.
And you resolved that case with a mediator. Is that also correct?
Yes.
So I'm not entertaining that unless they filed another restraining order against you. Did they?
No.
So that case is resolved. The next part of the case that I'm going to entertain is your property. Now, when you moved in, what property did you move in with?
I moved in a queen-size bed.
Okay.
Also,
where is her bed?
Moved everything out.
She took it with her.
She took it with her.
everything with her.
How did she take it with her?
She was moving out for 2 days.
She had 2 days. She took
That's
2
not
days to
correct,
move all
Your
her
Honor.
stuff out.
He helped her.
I even helped her.
I have a video of them forcing me out, Your Honor, if I could play it.
Yeah, after her sister barged in her apartment.
Absolutely. I would like to see
And
it.
broke everything and beat him up.
Just a second. Listen to me. I don't see a counterclaim here. I'm going to look at the video. He says he helped her move. Just a second. Tell me on what date this video was taken.
This was May 27th, and this was around 8:30 p.m.
On what date do you claim you helped her move her stuff out? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. On what date?
I don't remember exactly.
I want you to remember
days.
exactly. We're not talking about something that happened 20 years ago. On what date did you help her move her things out?
It was a year ago.
Last year. It was.
Remember the day of the week, Marty. Remember the day of the week.
Was
Remember
it
what
Tuesday?
happened exactly.
It was a Tuesday.
Okay, let's see.
She just punched me! Dude, out, Lincoln!
advertising.
Your Honor, I do have a receipt here. The police advised me to purchase a new doorknob with a lock.
Don't tell me what the police advised you.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, shortly after that you moved out. Did you move out that day?
That night, I was physically forced out.
Okay. Did you ever go back to the apartment?
I went back on May 29th with a police escort to retrieve my belongings, and they served me with a temporary restraining order and said the room was empty.
Okay, fine. Very good. Uncross your arms. On what day were you served a protective order?
It was like the following day after she left.
Do you remember the police coming back to your house with her on the 20th?
Yeah, she came. Sorry.
Do you remember the police coming back to your house with her?
Yes.
Do you remember the police going through the apartment and her room?
Yeah, they went in.
Easy to verify with the precinct. Was it before the police came or after the police left or while they were there that you helped her move out her bed? Look at me.
It was before.
It was before. So
Yeah,
it was,
it was 2 days.
So it was between the 27th when that scuffle went on and she left the apartment and the 29th. So it had to be the 28th.
Yes.
It had to be the 28th that you say you were helpful with her and helped her move her property out. I just want to understand that that's what you're telling me. It's a good thing she sat down.
Yeah.
She would have been falling down. You see, if she was standing up next to you, then maybe you would have some support. So let me see what you want me to believe. You want me to believe that you had this sort of scuffle with her, that you filed a protective order against her because of residence. But the next day, she came back to the residence on the 28th.
No, I'm sorry.
No. Sit. No.
You have
Sit.
not let us talk.
Did you hear what I said? I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm sorry, but
out.
you're not letting us
Out.
talk. This
Out.
is not even
Out.
what happened.
Out.
You got all the...
Out.
You have
Out.
all the
Out.
dates
Out.
wrong, everything
Out.
wrong.
Out. You want to sit down and be quiet?
Okay, believe whatever
Good.
you want.
Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you want me to believe that after this kerfuffle, you, being the nice guy that you are, helped her move her furniture out of the room. That's what you want me to believe.
And later today,
What was your rent?
$750.
And how much security deposit did you put down?
$750.
So that's the $750 that's at issue today.
Yes.
Why are you suing him for $1,500?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Lakin Pickram says former roommates Francesca Ortega and boyfriend Martin Torres physically forced her out of their apartment.
Now, your answer, I'm not even dealing with her complaint. Your answer talks about 28th. So you want me to believe that after this kerfuffle, which occurred on the 27th of May, and the police came back on the 29th, I assume that you have a report that they went with you?
Yes.
May I see it? That in between those 2 days, you, being the nice guy that you are, helped her move her furniture out of the room. That's what you want me to believe?
Yes, I helped her move her stuff. I never threw any of her stuff away.
You may not have. Now, Mr. Torres, whether the $650 was the last month's rent, which was June, or security deposit, you do not have a counterclaim, which means that there is no claim made by you that there was any damage caused by her to the house, to the apartment.
Yeah, we do. We got the evidence right here.
Just a second.
Got all the pictures.
Just a second. Hand down. I don't have a counterclaim, sir. I don't care what you have there. There is no counterclaim here for damage.
Well, what is a counterclaim?
We just wanted her out. We didn't want nothing to do with her.
We don't ever see her again.
We just wanted her
out,
out.
please.
Sure.
Can I just
Put
ask
her
for
out.
5 minutes?
Put her out.
2 minutes.
Put her out.
Want to say.
Put her out.
Explain her
Put her
story
out.
for 2 minutes.
Miss.
What's your question?
Miss,
Out.
Come this way.
This is ridiculous.
You have no counterclaim for any damage, which you would have had to have served her to say she's not due back the $650, which we're claiming a security deposit because she caused damage to her room that we are going to be responsible for. You did not file that against her. Therefore, she's entitled to her rent/security deposit back because she lived there a certain amount of months.
She never signed anything, though. We had a verbal agreement where she had a cat that she didn't even have a pet deposit for.
Mr. Torres, listen to me carefully, sir. Counterclaim.
We're taking it out of her security deposit.
You did not take it out of her security deposit because no court said you could take it out of her security deposit. That's what we're here for. And since you didn't file a counterclaim, she's entitled to her $650 back. Now the only thing that I have to determine is whether I believe she got all of her property back.
Your Honor.
What?
I do have a receipt that shows at 3:22 on May 27th, I purchased a whole new doorknob and lock.
I
so
don't care.
Locked my
I
property
told you
in.
before I don't care about the juror. Now, the question is, when you went to mediation on the protective order, did the mediator discuss your furniture?
No, they did not discuss my furniture. Why? They said I should proceed with that in small claims court.
With regard to your furniture?
Yes, with my property.
Furniture. All I'm interested in is furniture.
Furniture, yes.
You left, your sister was there, there were certain things that were packed in her car. As far as I'm concerned, that's all I care. Your sister came over that night and packed things in her car, but she didn't pack your bed in your car.
No.
Now, did you get your bed back?
No, I did not.
What other furniture didn't you get back?
It was my bed. I had this little desk, and also it wasn't furniture. The rest was just clothing and bathroom
Just the
belongings.
bed and the desk?
Yes.
Where'd you get the bed from?
I got the bed from a family friend. She gave me a bed, so I don't have a receipt.
Fine. And the desk?
A family friend, too.
Great. Okay. You owe us $650. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Who leaves and leaves $2,000 worth of things in a room after threatening everybody in the house?
She might be just a little mentally unstable to be renting out rooms to college students.
Just needed her gone and not deal with her anymore.
I'm just getting my own apartment.
She was a nightmare.
No craziness.
And now, the next case.
Step forward.
Ashley Gamble is suing her former landlord, Michael Griffin, for the return of her security deposit. Michael is countersuing for defamation, slander, and an unpaid water bill.
Ms. Campbell, the defendant was your landlord.
Yes.
And he's no longer your landlord. You moved out and you want your security deposit back.
Yes.
Mr. Griffin has a counterclaim. He says you owe for a substantial water bill.
Yes.
When did you move in and what kind of premises?
June 12, 2015, into a home, 2-bedroom.
What was your rent?
$750.
And how much security deposit did you put down?
$750.
So that's $750 that's at issue today.
Yes.
Why are you suing him for $1,500?
In the state of Pennsylvania, if he doesn't give me my security deposit back within 30 days, it doubles.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Not responsible for water.
We had a verbal agreement.
You don't have a verbal agreement when you have a written lease. The four corners of the agreement form the entire agreement unless it is modified in writing and signed by both parties.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Gamble is suing her former landlord, Michael Griffin, for the return of her security deposit, slander, and an unpaid water bill.
Now, you moved out on the 11th?
No, January 5th, 2016.
Was it a 6-month lease?
Yes.
Do you have a lease?
Yes.
I see it.
We actually agreed that I would move out on the 5th of January.
Well, actually, it begins June 12th, 2015, and ends June 11th, 2016. So tell me why you moved out January.
I was having difficulty. I lost my job. I was pregnant, so I was having difficulty paying rent. So we agreed that I would move out January 5th.
Do you have that someplace in writing?
Yes.
When did you advise Mr. Griffin that you wanted to move out earlier?
December 15th of 2015.
Did you pay rent in December?
Yes.
Did you pay him his judgment?
Yes, I
Is
have.
that correct?
It is.
Well, then you want to tell me why she doesn't have her $750 back.
Yes. I filed for eviction. We didn't agree on a 6-month lease at all. And upon me filing for eviction, waiting for her to receive the funds to pay me the settlement, a water bill came.
She's not responsible for water in your lease.
No. She She was responsible for the water.
No, she's not responsible for the following utilities: electricity and gas.
There was no gas in the house. It's just all electric.
Mr. Griffin, I assume that Ms. Gamble did not pay to have this residential agreement letter prepared, that your company prepared the lease.
Well, we had a verbal agreement that they would pay.
You don't have a verbal agreement when you have a written lease. When you have a written lease, the four corners of the agreement form the entire agreement unless it is modified in writing and signed by both parties.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, your lease provides that she is responsible for gas and electric. If there was no gas, then she's not responsible for gas, but she's not responsible for water.
Okay.
So now that you understand that, because all you had to do was look at the lease.
Right.
And it says gas and electric. Your counterclaim is for water.
My counterclaim, when she rented the house, the three things that she asked me, her and her boyfriend at the time, asked me what would they be paying, was water.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Four corners of the agreement that you prepared. Utilities she's responsible for.
Okay.
So you have to give her security deposit back. That's what the judgment says. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $750. Counterclaims dismissed. We're done.
So the defamation of character is dismissed?
Yes.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Former brothers-in-law tangle over repossession.
You agreed to take over payments on his truck. The last payment was made in May. He lived up to the terms of the deal.
Did he have it out for their whole family?
That was not the last payment, and he knew that. There was an additional $347.69.
He made almost $7,000 worth of payments on this truck, and you hustled him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Justin Michelinas and his roommate Jennifer Clifton are suing Justin's ex-brother-in-law, Robert Harper, for the return of money paid for a truck, repair costs, and emotional distress.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 177 on the calendar in the matter of Michelinas, Clifton versus Harper.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Miss Clifton.
Yes, I was using his truck while we had it and it broke down, and I put the money in to repair it.
Sit down.
Okay.
This whole case is about you.
Okay.
The defendant was your brother-in-law,
Correct.
and you agreed to take over payments on his truck.
Right.
When was that, Mr. Harper?
I don't have the exact date, Your Honor.
Give me a month and year.
June or July of 2014.
And how many years left did you have to go on the loan?
Roughly 2.5 years, as far as I know.
Is that right?
No.
Did you pay directly to the bank, or did you pay him for the truck?
I paid it to the truck or to the
Loan
truck
company?
Yeah.
And your first payment was when? June of 2014?
I did it on June, the beginning of June, and that's when I first paid out.
Okay.
The first
June
date.
of 2014. And when did you make your last payment?
I paid it off at the end of like May 1st, May 2nd, somewhere around
Of this
there.
year?
Yes.
When had you bought the truck, Mr. Harper? What year? What year?
I believe it was 2013.
What month in 2013, Mr. Harper?
I think February, but I can't be certain.
So you had the car for maybe 14 months.
Correct. My ex-wife drove the car.
When he took over the payments, the car was in whose name? Your name and your ex-wife's name?
My name only.
I'd like to see that title.
Yes. Is evidence?
Title, please.
Thank you.
And can you show me proof, sir, that the last payment was made in May, that the car was paid off?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but that was not the last payment, and he knew that.
That the car was paid off?
Correct.
In May? It was not. Did you make further payments on the car?
I paid the car off myself, and I have evidence to show that.
How much did you spend to pay
There
the
was an
car?
additional $347.69.
Just a second. When did you pay that, sir?
That was paid July
Of what?
1st of 2016.
Am I correct, Mr. Harper, that the monthly payments on the car were $347? How much were the monthly payments on the car, sir?
$277.32.
Yeah.
$277.
32.
Who did you buy the car from?
It was, I believe, Unity Acceptance was the lien holder, and I bought it from a used car lot.
Great, okay. Mr. Harper, is what you're telling me, sir, that for some reason, despite the fact that the plaintiff put in over $6,000 in this car during the time he drove it to repossess the car, which you did, so you now have possession of the car?
Absolutely.
Don't give me an absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not interested in your absolutely, actually.
Okay.
That your payment of $347 entitles you to the possession of the car? Is that what you're telling me? Because for some reason, either because of a mistake or whatever, there was some $347 because he's got all the payments, I assume, to show me that he made from June of 2014 until May of 2016. I'm sure that he has those to show me. So is what
Your Honor, also, it was repossessed, which I covered that money.
Just a second. It was repossessed when?
Yep. It was repossessed in November of 2014.
Just a second.
Yes.
In November of 2014,
correct.
Listen to me, Mr. Michelinas, the car was repossessed 3 months after you took possession of it. So now what I want to see, sir, are your payments from the time you took it over. Okay, so go back into your payments. I want to see those because if Mr. Harper, what you're suggesting is that he didn't make the payments and therefore it was repossessed because you mentioned that in here, or you didn't make the payment and it was repossessed. The plaintiff did make the payment. That's a big difference. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You understand. So is it that there was money owed on the truck before he took possession of it? Or was there money owed on the truck after he took possession of it and he was delinquent in his payment?
There were already late payments made.
Ah, there you go.
There were already late payments made.
Just a second. When you had the truck.
That's correct.
All right.
So,
there we go. Now, the $347.
Yes.
Is from when you owed money on the truck or after he took possession of the truck? That's a very simple thing, sir. That's a very simple thing. Is it when you owed the $347 or when he had possession of the truck?
When he had possession of the vehicle.
So now I want to see your receipts for your payment because that's a big difference for me, Mr. Harper. That makes a difference as to whether I'm going to rip this up and going to make an order that the title is registered in his name. Do you understand?
Yes.
I want you to clearly understand that, or whether I dismiss his case. Because if he made all the payments when he had possession of the truck, he gets the truck, because that was your deal. Do you understand that? I don't care whether you like your ex-wife or don't like your ex-wife, but he made, and you hustled him, and I don't permit that. Do we understand each other?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Those are all money order and priority mail receipts from the post office.
Now, I have all of these things. He got money orders every single time we went. 277, 32, 277. Now, I want you to show me, Mr. Harper, why you paid $347. Show me.
Here's the evidence right here. He was aware that not all the payments were made. I had tried contacting him from...
Just a minute. Explain that to me. He was aware that all payments weren't made by whom? He made his payments. He was aware that all payments weren't made by whom?
When he took possession of the vehicle.
Okay, now I understand.
And I gave him the receipt book that I had.
I want you to listen to me very carefully.
Okay.
Because this guy's a hustler. I want you to hold on to this thing while he signs the car over. If he doesn't sign it over, I'm taking it back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to issue an order because they've both agreed to that. And the order is going to return the car to him along with reissuing him a title. And, sir, I want you to understand this also. Where do you come from?
I come from here in California.
You come from here from California.
Yeah.
Any money for a period?
No.
You won't. Do you understand? And you're going to lose the car.
Okay.
And you're going to lose the car. Because what you did was hustle him, and it wasn't right. And it wasn't right. I don't care whether you were mad at her, whether you were not mad at her, whether it was acrimonious. You made a deal with him. He lived up to the terms of the deal. You saw a quick way to give it to him by
I saw a quick way to help him.
By getting They repossessed the car because you didn't make the payments. That's why you
No,
paid
they
for half.
repossessed the car because he was late with his payment.
Bird, did you understand? Did you understand what I said? Show him where he signs. If he doesn't sign, just take it back. But,
Okay. Just help me out here. Isn't that where he's supposed to sign as the registered owner and he's transferring it? Signed it twice. That's his signature both times. Looks like it's already ready for him.
he signed it already.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I will issue an order that I have determined that the car rightfully belongs to you. You now have the title. Then send a marshal to go and get the car. If it's turned over in good condition, great. That's the way it should be turned over. If it's not, there are consequences to that.
And later today,
I loaned Mr. Jefferson $1,600 with a $400 interest.
There's no $400 interest.
Well, he
$400 interest on a $1,600 loan.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Justin Michelinas says his ex-brother-in-law, Robert Harper, scammed him on the sale of a truck.
Okay. There's a lien holder. This car has already been signed over.
To who?
By him, July 31st, 2016. That's your handwriting, Robert Harper.
That's correct, but that was the lien holder signing it over to me.
I certify under penalties of perjury that the below releases interest in the vehicle. That's you. You signed it. You released interest, and all you have to get, sir, listen to me carefully, all you have to get is a letter from Unit Acceptance that this car has been paid off. Do you understand?
I do.
Then go get it. This is yours. Give it to him.
The money orders that I mailed to them had Robert's name on them.
Just listen to me.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
I will issue an order that I have determined that the car rightfully belongs to you. You now have the title.
Okay.
He signed over the title. I don't have to get him to sign over a thing. Do you understand?
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we'll get you a copy of the order for the lien holder to indicate that you need a letter from them that there is no longer a lien.
Okay.
Right? Then send a marshal or anything else are going to be withheld until that car is turned over to you. Do you understand? If it's turned over in good condition, great. That's the way it should be turned over. If it's not, there are consequences to that.
Okay.
Mr. Harper understands the consequences to that.
Okay.
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think I got swindled.
I feel very happy that she decided to make the correct decision.
I got swindled. The guy didn't make all the payments.
He's been intimidating my whole life.
Probably needs the money.
Rob was trying to get back at me because they left him.
Absolutely never again.
Stay away from brother-in-laws.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shepard versus Jefferson. Step forward.
Serena Shepard is suing her ex-boyfriend, Brian Jefferson, for an unpaid loan.
Miss Shepard, how long were you living with Mr. Jefferson?
For 7 months.
Were you working?
Yes, I was.
Were you living in his apartment or your apartment?
I was living in his apartment at that time.
And what kind of work was he doing?
He's a disabled vet. He doesn't work.
Do you get a pension, Social Security,
Yes, ma'am, I
disability?
do. And she was not working at the time that was a false statement she made.
Okay. Well, let's find out, but don't interrupt. Who were you working for?
I was working with Jack in the Box.
Located where?
And then I lost my job. In Warrenton, Missouri, where I live at.
Okay. You lived with him for 7 in the box.
I don't know exactly how many months that I worked there, but I did work there for some time.
Okay. Then I believe you.
Yes.
Good. Okay. It is your claim that you came into some money.
Yes, I
into a
did.
settlement while you were living with Mr. Jefferson. And what did you come into the money for?
I got a check for $20,000 for 12 years back child support on May 10th, 2016.
Back child support for whom?
My daughter.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Where was she living?
She was living with my mom.
How long had she been living with your mother?
She had been living with my mom the whole time. I had just got out of prison last year, May the 1st, 2015.
So she had been living with your mother for 12 years?
No, on and off with my mom and me.
Well, how long were you in prison?
For 27 and a half months.
Okay, and this child support of $20,000, who was it from?
It was from the dad, Richard. She met him February of this year for the first time, and he took us out, and he went to the bank, and he drew out some money, and I saw that he had almost $200,000, so I got upset because he owed like $22,000 back child support, and so I called child support and told them, and they put a lien on his account, And 60 days later, actually 70 days later, they gave me the $20,000. Got us an apartment.
Just a second, got who a car?
I got me and my daughter a car.
Your daughter's 12?
Yes, for us to have transportation. It was for me and her, an apartment, so I can move her out of my mom's house and to live with me, and that's where she is now.
How much did you spend on the car?
I spent $2,700 for the car. I bought furniture. I bought us brand new beds. I bought us TVs. I bought everything I needed because I didn't have anything.
How much money of that $20,000 did you put away for your daughter's future?
I did not, and I made a mistake on that.
You sure did.
I did.
Because all that money was hers.
Yes, it was.
Not yours. And how much did you give to your mother for taking care of her for 3 years?
I gave my mother $1,000, and I have other kids too. I gave them money too. And then I gave Mr. Jefferson $1,600. I loaned Mr. Jefferson $1,600 with a $400 interest.
There's no $400 interest.
Well, he said it.
I am here to tell you there's no $400 interest on a $1,600 loan.
Okay.
Even if it was a loan.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you don't put that $1,600 in a bank account for your daughter, because that's what the money was for, child support, not a new car for you, not new furniture, child support.
Real people, Judge Judy. Serena Shepard says ex-boyfriend Brian Jefferson owes for a loan.
Okay, what did you use the $1,600 for, sir? And what was the purpose of the $1,600?
I had bills stacked up because I'd been taking care of her for nearly a year.
Just a second. She was living with you for 7 months.
Yes.
How long have you been living in that apartment?
I actually moved from where I was living into this apartment in attempts to accommodate Mrs. Shepard. Because I moved to Missouri from California. I was raising an autistic son by myself. It was time for him to learn how to respect women, and there was...
I asked you a simple question.
I apologize, Your Honor.
She lived with you for 7 months.
Yes.
Did you move into that apartment together?
She moved with me. It wasn't together.
But
she moved with me, yes.
Can I say something? He lived with his mom. He lived in the basement. He hated living with his mom.
I don't care whether he hated her or not. All I'm asking you is...
He didn't accommodate me.
You moved into an apartment together, is my question.
I lived with my mom at that time.
And
I was
you left?
over his house a lot.
You're not following me because you don't know where I'm going. You're trying, you know, I see where your head is at from the answers to your previous questions. All I asked him, time together. I don't care if you were living at your mother and he was living in the basement of his mother. Did you find an apartment and move into it together?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes. And in whose name is the lease?
Mine, Your Honor.
In the 7 months that you lived with Mr. Jefferson, did you pay any rent?
I paid for the Wi-Fi, the cable, and I bought the food for the 7 months because I was getting $350 in food stamps every month.
No, just a second. So you provided the food stamps?
Yes.
She provided the food stamps, which actually we provide, and the Wi-Fi?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the cable.
What I want you to tell me is how much was the rent?
$600 when I moved into the apartment.
And you lived in this apartment together for how many months? How many months did you live in this?
4 or 5.
How many months did you live in this apartment?
I don't know. It's about 4 or 5 months, like you said.
Great, 4 or 5. And how much were the Wi-Fi bills?
They varied. I got some of the payment on this statement from my card.
What I would like you to tell me, sir, is what discussion was there when she received this $20,000 and she was feeling very flush, none of which went into her daughter's college bank account? What was the discussion about the $1,600?
Judge, have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What was the discussion about the $1,600?
I need to pay some bills. Can I get some money? Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to pay some bills. Can I get some money?
She said, how much? I said, about $1,500. It turned out to be $1,600 after I added it all up. And that's what it was. And she gave it to me.
What bills?
Truck payment. I had fallen behind on truck payment. And electric bill. It's combined, gas and electric out there. And so that and a few other miscellaneous things that... I wanted to get my son some clothes and a few things like that. Bought a new coffee maker.
I'm awarding her $1,600. And of the $1,600, Ms. Shepard, I'm going to make a very, very solid statement to you.
Your Honor.
If you don't put that $1,600 in a bank account for your daughter, because that's what the money was for, child support, not a new car for you, not new furniture, not a, I'm speaking, not a TV. That's what it was for, child support. Child support. So if you bought yourself a lot of new toys, what you should do with this $1,600 is put it in a bank account.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
If somebody gives you something and then wants it back, you're not supposed to be able to get it back.
I am happy. I got my money.
If I give you a sandwich and you eat it, then I want it back. Give it here.
I ain't worried about no sandwich. I don't need no sandwich from him.
Because she spent all the rest of her sandwiches.
I can make my own sandwiches. 1,600 of them.
Relationship. That was over a long time ago.
My daughter, I'm going to take Judge Judy's advice and put that up for her because she deserves it.
Something happened in June.
He told me I had 24 hours to get out of the house.
Did his tenant corrupt his daughter?
Jackie solicited my child to adults for sex. She asked her for drugs.
But why did this teen keep it a secret for so long?
She asked us if we wanted some alcohol.
She offered you drugs before?
Yes. She pulled out a bag of ecstasy out of her bra.
She offered you drugs, and you didn't tell your father about it.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
19-year-old Jacqueline Adams Quist for the return of rent and security deposit, stolen money, and an unlawful eviction.
Order. All rise. This is case number 153 on the calendar in the matter of Adams versus Nordquist.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Adams, you rented a room from Mr. Nordquist in his home.
Yes.
When did you rent the room?
March.
March what?
8th, I believe.
When did you move in?
March 10th.
And what was your rent?
$550.
And how much money did you give him?
I gave him $950.
$950.
$400 deposit.
So far, is that correct?
Correct.
Was the $550 for March?
Yes.
Did you live there in April?
Yes.
And did you pay him his rent?
Yes.
$550.
Yes.
So far, correct?
Correct.
And in May?
Yes.
Paid him his rent?
Yes.
Something happened in June.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell me what happened?
I was going to move out because he was selling the house to a family or whatever. So I was going to move out.
When were you selling the house?
I decided I wanted to try to sell my house early June.
And when did you tell Miss Adams?
I told her that about the time she put her notice in that I was thinking about selling my home.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So I decided, because I was going to live there through summer, but then, and I'm a college student, so I can't really afford that. And then that's when I told him, and then we agreed that I could move out the next time that I paid my rent, which would be July 10th. But before I went to the Bahamas in June, we decided that I'd just move out July 1st because I was okay with that, and I was already looking on Craigslist for another home. I get back from the Bahamas.
On what date?
The 12th or 13th. I got back the 12th, the night of the 12th, but it was the 13th.
But you had paid June's rent?
No, not yet.
Okay, you got back on June 13th.
Yes, and then that day I went and cashed my check and paid rent and everything else.
So you paid June's rent?
Yes, but it was $367 instead of $550.
Why?
Because I was moving out July 1st, not...
And you had moved in on March 10th?
Yes.
Okay, so you prorated it?
Yes.
And he agreed with that?
Yeah.
And he accepted the rent?
Yes.
Accepted the money that you gave him?
Yes.
Did you accept the money that she gave you in June?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 days later, after that, he asked if I was going to be home, and I was like, probably not, because I was planning on staying at my friend Bree's house. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to go home, because something told me, like, I needed to go home. And then after that, he woke me up the next day, and he told me I had 24 hours to get out of the house.
On what date?
The 17th.
Did you move out?
I grabbed a bag full of clothes in my room, and that's what I did.
Okay. So now what you're suing him for is the return of your $400, your security deposit, the rent that you paid him for the latter part of June, and for unlawful eviction.
Yes.
Because he evicted you during a time you had already paid rent, and you were scheduled to move out in July.
Yes.
Okay. Ball's in your court. I actually believe her when she said that you told her she had to move out.
That's not what occurred.
Because I'm looking at your answer and your counterclaim. So what happened on June 15th?
June 15th? Well, I would like to go prior to June 3rd of what happened led to her moving out early.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was in Santa Cruz with my girlfriend and my other daughter, and Paige asked if she can go to my house because she was visiting her parent, her mom.
Who was this?
Paige Nordquist. And
How old are
Haley.
you?
15.
And
Okay.
she said, can I go to the house to swim? Jackie will be there. I go, only if mom's okay with it and if Jackie's there, because she seemed responsible. And so I said, it's okay. That night, June 3rd, Jackie solicited my child to adults for sex. She asked her for drugs, Norco.
Well, you weren't there, so you don't know that at all. So that's...
No, but they were there.
They can tell me what they want to tell me, but you can't tell me.
All right.
Who's going to speak? Your first name is?
Paige.
Paige, you went to your father's house on what day?
June 3rd.
Who did you go there with?
Haley Anderson. My mom dropped me off.
Anybody else show up at the house?
No.
Just the two of you?
Yeah.
And what about the plaintiff? Was she there?
Yes.
Anybody else other than the plaintiff?
No.
Okay, so it's the two of you and the plaintiff. You're a college student?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
Okay, so she's there, you're there, and?
She came home under
Look
the
here.
influence. Sorry. She came home under the influence.
Of what?
Drunk. She asked us if we wanted
Just
some
a second.
alcohol.
She came home under the influence of drugs. How did you know that?
She has offered me drugs before.
No. So she offered you drugs before?
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me? When did she offer you drugs before?
I don't remember what day it was, but she pulled out a bag of ecstasy out of her bra.
So this was before June 3rd?
Yes, but
Before
I
you-
never...
Just before June 3rd, before you asked your father if you could go to the house with a friend, and before your father said to you, yes, you can go there if Jackie is there, because she seemed responsible. So that was before that time that she offered you drugs, and you didn't tell your father about it.
Because I was scared of her.
Whatever your reason, you didn't tell your father to be there,
Yes.
and that your father felt that she was the responsible one,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're there on June 3rd, and?
She came home and asked us if we wanted some alcohol. She said she was getting a bottle that night. We were all at the kitchen table.
Okay, and what, just a second, and what did you say?
I said no.
You said no, and what did your friend say?
No.
No, so why didn't you call your mother and have her come pick you up? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I just didn't think to do that, really.
Why not? I mean, you're 15 years old. How old are you?
16.
16. You tell me that somebody has offered you illegal drugs before. Despite that fact, and despite that you didn't want to tell that to your father, you initiated a call to go to the house knowing that Jackie would be there with your friend. Right? And before you went to the house with your friend, did you tell your friend about the prior encounter with Jackie?
Yes.
And she went too. And I assume she didn't tell her mother. You live with your mother?
Yeah.
Yes is the answer.
Yes, and I did tell my mom.
And your mother let you go anyway?
Well, I was at her...
You mean you... Stand up. Is what you're telling me you told your mother that your friend told you that they were going to an unsupervised drugs before, and your mother said, fine, have a nice swim? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I was at her house. I didn't let my mom know that we were going. We thought we were just going to go over there and go swim for the day, and we didn't, and we just ended up staying the night.
Sit. Sit. Okay, on what date did your daughter allegedly tell you about these events?
She told me, because she was with her mom for another week, I would say approximately June 15th, 16th, and then after...
No. June 3rd to June 15th is more than a week.
Well, she was with her mom, because I was in the, Santa Cruz until the 5th, and...
Right, then you come home on the 5th.
Right.
And what you're telling me is you didn't speak to your daughter?
She was with her mom on vacation at her mom's house for a week, because her mom's allowed 2 weeks of summer.
Just a second. I just asked you a question. You and her mother live in relatively the same area?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you telling me you came home from Santa Cruz and didn't speak to your daughter for 10 days?
No, we spoke. She just said she had something to talk to me, and I said, okay, do you want to do it in person or on the phone?
Oh, get over it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your counterclaims that your 15-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old friend were offered drugs and alcohol by some old person.
Older.
Her friend is older than she is. Would you call her an older person if she offered her alcohol?
And later today.
So she kept it in regular service.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she gave you all these things.
Yes, maybe she forgot to take it away when she turned over the documents.
Nah. Why would she do that? If she was trying to scam you, sir, she wouldn't forget.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jacqueline Adams says former landlord Richard Nordquist owes for the return of rent and security deposit, stolen money, and an unlawful eviction. Richard is countersuing for emotional distress.
Okay, you owe her security deposit back, which is $400. You owe her rent back, which is another $400. Where did you go when you left?
I went and I stayed at my friend's house.
And where are you staying now?
I'm not really. I'm, like, homeless. Like, I can't live with my father because I'm a foster youth, so I get AB 12. So I'm, like, legit homeless. So throughout the night, I'm up walking around. Throughout daytime, I'm finding somewhere to sleep.
Well, how do you support yourself?
I don't, unless every month when I get my AB 12, that's when I pay all my bills.
What's AB 12?
I'm a foster youth. I aged out of foster care. So.
Security deposit back $400, which is a round number, for the rent that you took from her for the month of June, and another $400 for illegal eviction. That's $1,200. You have a counterclaim, which is nonsense. Your counterclaim says that there was a lot of emotional distress based on the fact that your 15-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old friend were offered drugs and alcohol by some old person.
Older.
Well, her friend is older than she is. Would you call her an older person if she offered her alcohol?
She's an adult and they're minors.
Yeah, okay. Counterclaims dismissed. We're done. You believe her? Perfect.
Okay.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm happy that she did, like, see that I was telling the truth.
She was going to move, and so there was no eviction.
I don't drink, so, or do drugs. So it's just like, okay, yeah, definitely, that's me.
It's a joke.
He's the joke.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Concepcion versus McMurdoch Dixon. Step forward.
Joselito Concepcion is suing Carmen McMurdoch and her daughter Dana Dixon for defrauding him when they traded cars.
Mr. Concepcion, you traded a car with the defendants. You traded an Acura for their SUV.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before you made that trade, you didn't know each other. You had seen their SUV parked with a sign for sale, so you bartered at $4,500. And that was on what date, sir?
March 1st this year.
And when you traded the cars, Miss McMurdoch gave you all the paperwork for the car, the history of the mechanical history, when it was serviced, etc., was with the car. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you purchased the car, you looked at the odometer, and according to your complaint, the odometer showed about 85,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you saw a piece of paper that came with all the paperwork that Miss McMurdoch gave you that said earlier, a year earlier, the car had 94,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you want your money back or your car back because you say that they defrauded you.
Yeah, they scammed me.
Just
both of them.
No, they didn't. First of all, I would like to see the paperwork that you're referring to, that they gave you.
Yes.
You didn't find this on your own.
Yes.
They gave it to you.
Yes.
Good.
That's the one.
Yes.
Bird, I'm probably looking right at it, where it says what the mileage is on the car.
Yeah, 94,020.
Okay, so this is license and mileage. It says 94020, and that was last July.
Yes, Your
Right,
Honor.
and you had taken the car in for servicing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when did you purchase the car?
September 2012.
And you maintained it from 2012 until you sold it 4 years later. Now I'd like to see all the paperwork you had on the car.
These are contract. This is the...
Fine. I see everything that you're telling me. So this is Sears, and when she got the car, it said 90,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
So she kept it in regular service.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she gave you all these things.
Yes, maybe she forgot to take it away when she turned over the documents.
No. Why would she do that? If she was trying to scam you, sir, she wouldn't forget. If she was trying to scam you, she would take away any evidence.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Looks like you altered the odometer on your SUV you traded to me. She said, no.
She's denying that she tampered with the odometer.
Or somebody could have done it for her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joselito Concepcion says Carmen McMurdoch and daughter Dana Dixon rolled back the odometer on a car they traded him.
Okay, you think that these two ladies turned back an odometer and then gave you paperwork for every 6 months and year of tire rotation and everything else, which says what the exact mileage is?
The reason I bought the car was the odometer when it was only 84,000. For the age of the car, 1986, wow.
Well, it was closer to 85,000 miles, sir, than it was to 84,000 miles. And you have something that she gave you that says there were 94,000 miles, so it's an additional 10,000 miles to what you thought you were buying, right? So the question is, she bought the car with a certain number of miles on the car. Who turned back an odometer?
There was no odometer turning back. Maybe because it's an old car, it's like almost 30 years old. So the little glass that covers the mileage thing is kind of like, I would say, a little foggy. So maybe the mechanic read it wrong, or?
No, it says 85,413 miles. So you put on, Mr. Concepcion, from the day you bought it.
Yes.
So now I'd like you to tell me when you looked at the paperwork.
After 3 weeks of when I bought the car.
Just a second. So 3 weeks after you bought the car.
I was only able to review the document she turned me over.
So once you saw that there was a discrepancy in the miles, why didn't you stop driving it?
I stopped driving it.
No, you didn't. You put on 1,000 miles on the car.
When I found
according to the odometer, the picture that you just gave me, and the bill of sale that you had, from the day you purchased it, you put on over 1,000 miles on the car. And I'm asking you, if you saw these things within a few weeks and you looked through the paperwork, why did you continue to drive the car?
After 3 weeks, I drove it to Alpine. I drove it to a Sequan just to test drive it. After maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then when I found out what she did on the car, because I was trying to do the upgrades on the car, then when I look at the records, wait, why is it like 94,000 in here?
Just a second. I got that. I asked you, why did you keep driving the car and put another 1,000 miles on it?
No, after driving for like over less than 1,000 miles, I stopped driving it. It looks like you altered the odometer on the SUV you traded to me. She said, no, I got evidence that you told me. It is not only 1 or 2 pieces of receipts that
all that she gave you.
Yeah.
She gave you everything at the time of the sale.
But she's denying that she didn't tamper it. How come?
Just a second. She's denying that she tampered with the odometer.
Or somebody could have done it for her.
Just a second.
Somebody who's knowledgeable on doing that.
Mr. Concepcion, maybe you tampered with the odometer.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Mr. Concepcion, maybe you tampered with the odometer.
That could not be possible. I don't want to be jailed. That's illegal. That's illegal. That's why I'm here.
Just a second. What do you do for a living?
I'm a server.
A server. What do you do?
I'm a waitress as well.
Okay. Either one of you have any mechanical training?
No.
No. This car always went to a shop or a mechanic.
These people did not turn back the odometer. They gave you all the paperwork that they had. If you didn't want the car, you should have looked at the paperwork and brought it back. Instead, you drove it for 1,000 miles, Mr. Concepcion. Let me ask you a question. Is the car running now?
Yeah, it's running. No, it's just right on. I live in an apartment, so I only got allowed to 1 car in our apartment complex. So it's got to be parked outside. But
That's
since
fine.
then...
What I'm saying to you is, if it's parked on the street, you have to move it so that you are driving it.
Yeah, drive it from like 5 floors away.
Yeah. Mr. Concepcion, I am unimpressed. You bought a 30-year-old car. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That's the dress that he made for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
This bride was bursting at the seams.
I kept telling him I needed spandex because I'm a heavy-set person. When I looked at it, I'm like, it don't even have a shape to fit me.
She let you know that the dress had to have a little give to it.
Yes.
I just have to see.
And after closer examination, this dressmaker still won't give an inch.
My job first is to just take the measurements.
No.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Waddell Newman is suing dressmaker Corey McKinney for the return of money he paid for a wedding dress and punitive damages.
Order. All rise.
Your Honor, it's case number 180 on the calendar in the matter of Newman. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Newman, you want your money back from the defendant who made a wedding dress for your wife. And the crux of your complaint is that not only it wasn't exactly what you wanted or what your wife wanted, but that it was so poorly made that it didn't fit her. It wasn't a custom-made dress.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Not only do you want your money back, you want a whole bunch of other nonsense, which you're not going to get. You want aggravation and stress and the cost of the new dress because you didn't use the dress that the defendant made. So we're going to restrict your claim to what you paid the defendant.
Okay.
Now, how did you find the defendant?
Well, Your Honor, myself and my wife, Felicia here, we got married July 30th of this past year, and we had been searching around for wedding dresses and nothing that she had really liked. So friends of ours had instructed us about Mr. McKinney's shop.
Had recommended him.
Had recommended him to us.
People who you believed had used him to make wedding dresses before?
Well, not necessarily wedding dresses. It's just that he was more or less a seamstress and black proprietor in our area of South Bend. So I said, well, let's just give him a try. It can't hurt to try, to go over there and see what we can do for us.
So when you went in to see him, you went in to see him on what date?
Well, we first went in there, it was about the week before Father's Day, so I'd say about the 11th of...
So you were giving him 6 weeks to make a dress?
Yes.
And did you bring him photographs of the dress that you liked?
No, well, she already had an idea of what she wanted.
An idea is very hard to read.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you either bring him a photograph, you look up on the internet the dress that you like, or you have him make a sketch of the dress.
And that's what he did.
He made a sketch.
He had the internet, and he had different styles that he was showing her at the time.
Okay, so now the next thing I want you to do is to show me the styles that your then fiance selected. I need to see the styles that your fiance selected. Do you have them?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them. You don't mind him showing them to me, do you?
No.
So you printed those, you showed her those styles, and from these styles, she selected something.
Yes. So,
okay. Would you stand up, please?
So that first picture is the...
Shh, don't tell me. I assume this is what you made.
Yes, that's what we made.
And these are the photographs that you showed her.
Yes, that's the top
Do you see these photographs?
Yes.
You saw this photograph before?
Yes.
Okay, one that you selected with some alterations.
Yes.
And you saw this photograph. So you saw that photograph. Now this one is different because this one has a little sleeve. Did you want a little sleeve?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted a little sleeve. That has no sleeve. You wanted a little sleeve. That sleeve doesn't come down about as much as this does. I don't know whether you discussed that. Okay. And then this is a photograph of the back.
Yes.
That you looked at. And that's the dress that he made for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And this is the back of the dress that he made for you.
Yes.
Okay. So at some point in July, he calls you and tells you that the dress is ready to come in for a fitting, right?
Yes, he did.
And that was about July 18th or 19th.
Yes, but he told me to give him 2 weeks, the dress would be ready.
Just a second. You went in July 18th or 19th for a fitting.
Right.
And how far had the dress gotten?
Like that.
Just like this?
Yes.
Okay. And you tried it on?
Yes.
And tell me what happened when you tried it on.
Okay, but when I first looked at it, I didn't like it because I had asked him that I wanted the spandex material. He told me that it was going to be that. But when we looked at it, he said he had to get on whoever made it. Because I kept telling him I needed spandex because I'm a heavy-set person, and I know ordering it through the mail, it'll be a problem trying to get it ready for my wedding. So when he told me that, I'm like, okay, I'll come in and look at it. And when I looked at it, I'm like, it don't even have a shape to fit me.
Okay, so what you wanted was you wanted a spandex material. Now, had she told you she wanted a spandex material?
Well, she
Yes.
said she wanted a stretchy material.
Stretchy material.
Yes. And I have papers here from the people that made it, and it is describing.
I'd like to see it.
Yes.
So
It
she
is
said she
describing-
wanted a stretchy material. I gathered that from both your complaint and your answer, that she let you know that the dress had to have a little give to it.
Yes.
Yes.
In that paperwork, it shows you the second one. It's got stretchy material in it.
Now, excuse me, Your Honor.
Just a second. I just have to see. Well, the outside can't be stretchy because the outside is lace, so that's clear. So the underside has to have a little bit of a stretch to it.
Now, at the same time, Your Honor.
Don't talk to me while I'm moving.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Not the outside of the dress, probably the inside.
No, I understand. Okay. Mr. McKinney, that's not stretch satin. I'm telling you, the inside of that dress is not the kind of material that has give to it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
So
really...
around the hips?
Isn't it the same satin all over? I went underneath
No,
the dress to the
no,
lining.
Probably the hip area is where
What do you mean, probably the hip area?
underneath would be the stretchy material, not the top part of the bust. You need stretchy to be here, around the waist.
Oh, so what I'm asking you is, did you use one fabric or two different fabrics to make the lining of the dress?
Well, my job first is to just take the measurements.
No. You're going to answer my question. I assumed, having had these things done myself, that you use one fabric to make the underside of the dress. And is what you're suggesting to me that you use two different fabrics?
Two different fabrics.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
The stretchy needs to be hip area.
So you used a different fabric because clearly, this is not stretch at all. So what you're suggesting is under here, you want to come over here, sir? You could turn this thing around, you can do whatever you want to show me that the bottom part is stretch.
I'm not sure how they get it up here. Oh, here it is. So here,
Hold on. No way. Now, you know that's not stretch material, sir. I know what a spandex material, what a stretch material is. That's not a stretch material. You can go like this, but that's not a material that has give to it. Okay, but you made the dress, and there was a lot of effort that went into making this dress, but it didn't fit you.
Right.
And Mr. McKinney acknowledged that it didn't fit you when you came in, so he said his seamstress would come in to fit it again, which is usually what you do when you make bridal dresses. You go back sometimes for 4 fittings before it gets right. So you went back again.
A week before the wedding.
Okay,
and when I went in there, she looked at it, she said the dress was not measured for me. And I told her, that's what I told him. So when she tried to do it, she tried to take it out. It even got tighter when I tried it back on again.
Just a second. So it didn't fit.
Right.
Well, when you went in there on the 18th or 19th, which seamstress came out and fitted you?
He didn't have one then.
Well, did he pin it? Did somebody pin it?
Yes,
he did.
Yes.
So he did the pinning.
Yes.
Of where you wanted it.
To fit across here.
How was it?
It was too tight. I couldn't even sit down in it. That's why they had to take it out on the side.
Okay, so he had to release a little bit.
She
Some
just
pins.
took it out. Yes, the pins.
Pins to show the
Yes.
seamstress where it had to be released around your hips. Was that done when you came back a week before? Had it been released around your hips?
3 days before the wedding, yes.
It had been released. So you could sit down?
I couldn't sit down.
Could or could not?
Couldn't.
Could not?
Right, could not.
Even a week before?
Yes.
After she had let it out?
Yes.
Okay. And how was the top?
The top wouldn't even fit me. It's like the bra right here. It's too close in and I'm wide-chested. So they had to try to pull that up and it looked like it didn't get done neither.
Okay. And a week before the wedding, who was there? The seamstress or Mr. McKinney or both? Did you have a conversation with Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Tell me what you said to him and what did he say to you?
He had asked me, well, the seamstress is here. So when we looked at this, the seamstress looked at it. She told him, she said, there's really nothing I can do with this dress. And I said, that's what I told him.
Just a second. And what did he say?
He walked away. He was helping somebody else in the store and left her with me.
Did you take the dress?
No, I left it.
Is this the seamstress?
No, that's his
Where's
mother.
the seamstress?
Oh, she's not
Who
here.
was this?
This is my mom. She was in the store when she initially came in the store.
I don't need her. I need the seamstress.
No, she was here.
I need the seamstress, not your mom.
Yeah, but when she left with the dress, I don't know what her and the seamstress...
We never took the dress.
Just a second. She didn't...
When they left. The seamstress took the dress with her, and
She's supposed to have been fixing it for me.
Is that a week before the wedding?
It was...
1 week before the wedding.
Yes.
And what happened?
And she didn't get to it until 3 days before the wedding when she had me to come in.
Come in where?
In her shop.
So you went to a different shop?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Did you make this dress or did somebody else?
Someone else makes it.
Just a second. So she came to your shop, but you subcontracted to somebody else to make the dress?
Yes.
Who took the measurements, the initial measurements?
I take the initial...
Just a second. You took the initial measurements.
Yes.
Now it's all coming together.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
what I did see was when she made the turn, this young lady came over into our lane and hit her wheel well.
Did you see this lady there that day?
I did.
She says that you came over into her lane.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Waddell Newman says dressmaker Corey McKinney owes for a substandard wedding dress and for the stress it caused.
Now, you took the initial measurements, handed it over to somebody else.
Yes.
And you paid $650, right?
$750.
$700. I have a paper right here.
I'd like to see it. I just want to see what you paid.
Oh, she paid $700.
Oh, no, that's
the
not
$750 one was after he came in and got some shoes. He came in
it's
a
for
week
the dress.
before the 30th
Just to say,
and
all
asked
I
me
want to
for a
see is the
second
bill.
receipt.
All I want to be is the bill. This says shoes, Felicia, wedding dress, catalog, wedding dress, $750.
But you can see where the payments were made.
In the amount of $750. This is what happened. You took the wrong measurements. You didn't get her what she wanted because there was a spandex material. You subcontracted the dress to somebody else. And then when it didn't work out, you said, you take care of it. Went back to her shop. I don't know whether you paid the lady or not. You didn't do the right thing. They get their money back. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They came in a couple weeks before their wedding. I did everything I could.
In all actuality, we never probably should have went to him.
To make her happy.
She was very upset. I mean, it was so emotional those last 2 weeks. I mean, she cried every night.
And I just couldn't make her happy.
Oh, it was bad. It hurted. But I'm so glad that the outcome came good.
Well, just can't please everybody.
Hey, the bride is always right. You know you got to make that woman happy now.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cedrone versus Mushir. Step forward.
18-year-old Amanda Cedronist, Aisha Mushir, for an accident on the road.
Mr. Cedrone, I assume that you are here, sir, because you are the registered owner of this car. Is that
Yes.
correct? You were not there at the time of the accident.
At the time of the accident, no.
You can have a seat. Mr. Cedrone, you had borrowed your father's car, or was this your car?
It's my father's car.
That you had borrowed that day?
Yes.
And you were in a car accident with the defendant. You claimed that it was her fault. You want her to pay for the damage to your car, which was not terribly significant. And she says she had minimal damage to her car. The time that you were driving the car, Ms. Mushir, you're an Uber driver.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you had a passenger in your car?
Yes.
And is this your passenger?
Yes.
Had she been a regular passenger of yours? Had you driven her before?
No, I just get calls and
I know, but you had not met her before that,
No.
the day of the accident. On what day was the accident, Ms. Cedrone?
February 2nd, 2016.
Is that your map?
Yes.
Want to go over and show me? What
Yes.
time of the day was it?
It was about 12:15 p.m.
Where were you going?
I was on my way to school.
Okay.
Okay, so I was on my way to school. I go there 3 days a week, every week. I was on Perry Hall Boulevard in the left-hand turn lane. I was at a red light waiting for my green arrow. The arrow turned green, and I had proceeded to make my turn into the left-hand turn lane. Was making a right on red, and she was inching out a little bit, so I intentionally stayed in my lane, the lane closest to me, and then she made the right on red, and then she came into my lane and hit me.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, I'll take a look at it. Maybe that could change my mind, but I have a witness who says that you came into her lane.
And she also told the officer that she turned on the yellow light. But then her dad got there. He said, no, Amanda, it was green.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Amanda Cedrone says fellow motorist Aisha Mushir owes for a car accident.
Now, what I'm asking you is, she had an arrow permitting her to turn?
Yes, she was in the
turn lane.
In the turn lane, yes.
And you were making a right turn.
Yeah.
And you can make a right turn on red.
Yes.
And you were making a right turn on red.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go over to your board.
Okay.
So what you are saying is, now I'm looking at the photographs, what you're saying is she came into your lane and she says you came into her lane.
Yes, she came.
Okay. But we agree on this. We agree that you were making your right turn on red. The right to make a left turn.
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you watching what was going on around you, or were you busy doing something else? You were in the back seat?
I was in the back seat.
Tell me your name.
Sharon Ellerby.
Miss Ellerby, do you remember the point where the cars collided?
Yes, I did.
Did you get out of the car?
I did not.
Did you hear any conversation between the plaintiff and the defendant?
No, I did not. What I did see was when she made the turn, I noticed that this young lady came over into our lane and hit her wheel well.
So you're certain that the plaintiff,
yes,
when she made the turn wide?
Wide, correct.
Okay. Do we have a police report?
The police couldn't take a report because...
They didn't, so they did not. Did anyone take a photograph of exactly where the cars were at the time of the collision?
I do not have a photograph. I have a video of my perspective of driving it, and then I have pictures of the damages of the car, but I don't have a picture of the road.
Well, that's actually the most important aspect of this case.
I have pictures of the road.
At the time of the accident?
Not at the time of the accident.
Well, I don't want you to go back. I mean, is there a skid mark? Was there any debris?
No,
that would
it
be
was nothing
telling.
like that.
Okay, so she was just a passenger in the car. She was the witness. She says that you came over into her lane.
I had the right of way. I had a left arrow, and I made that turn, and I saw her inching out to make the right on red, so I stayed in the lane closest to me, just in case she did come into my lane, and she did. But I have pictures to show the damage.
Well, I'll take a look at them. Maybe that could change my mind, but I have an independent witness who says that you came into her lane.
And she also told the officer that she turned on the yellow light. She told the officer that. But then when her dad got there, he said, no, Amanda, it was green. And when I spoke to the insurance companies, to my...
No, don't tell me what
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Your car was damaged. Question is, was it your fault or not?
No, Your Honor. She came into my lane, and her left front bumper is damaged. My right front fender...
I had a scrape on my bumper, and I actually got out of my car and went back to her because I had pulled my car on the side to get out of traffic.
Just a second. Did you hear any conversation between either the plaintiff and the defendant or police officers when they came?
No.
And as certain as you are that you heard no conversation, is that how certain you are that the plaintiff came into the defendant's lane?
Absolutely.
Okay. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A former couple fights over puppy custody.
Where did Nugget spend the night?
With me.
I also always slept in his apartment.
I didn't ask where you were sleeping. I asked where the dog was sleeping.
Judge Judy.
The insurance company said that they were not touching it because...
I didn't go through insurance because my insurance shouldn't have to pay for it.
Their investigation, I was not at fault.
Oh, the investigation, yeah, they couldn't do anything. They denied all claims.
And hopefully, she drives a little more carefully.
But the police did say to me at the end, green always wins.
Accept responsibility for what you've done.
Keep driving correctly.
She came in and she found a car in your used car lot.
The hard part was finding a way to pay.
She had a check.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now it gets dicey. You put the check into your personal account? Why?
She didn't have a bank account. She gives me the sad single mom story, this and that.
Now this used car salesman feels used.
She gave you that check fraudulently. She committed fraud and greed.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Car salesman Shane Grant is suing former client Stacy McMahon for defrauding him regarding the sale of a car.
Order. All rise. Yeah, that's case number 93 on the calendar in the matter of Grant versus McMahon. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat.
Where do I begin with this case? Mr. Grant, you work for a used car lot?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before you sold her a car, did you know Miss McMahon? Before you sold... I don't know what this means. Before you sold
Yes.
her a car, did you know
I had
Miss
met her
McMahon?
before, Your Honor.
How?
Through a mutual friend.
How long before?
A couple of days.
And other than that first meeting through a mutual friend, you'd had no contact with her?
Absolutely.
So you had no idea who she was or her background?
Yes.
And she came in and she found a car in your used car lot?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of a car did she find?
2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
How much was the car?
Total, it was $7,000.
Did you negotiate a price with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was the negotiated price?
Due to her credit, she was going to put $2,500 down, $600 a month to pay off the remaining $7,000.
And then pay how much a month for how long?
$600 a month, and I think the contract was for 9 months.
Just a second. $600 a month for 9 months.
Yeah.
So for the year, the car was $7,000. It was going to cost her an additional $900.
With the interest and the tax and licensing and stuff, yes.
Okay. So far, is that correct?
Correct.
And according to you, Miss McMahon had some money in cash to give you. How much money did she have?
It was actually about $426.
$426.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she had a check.
Yes, Your Honor.
The check was made out to her.
Yes, Your Honor.
For how much?
$2,000.
Now it gets dicey. So you had a check for $2,000 from what?
A settlement from State Farm.
For what?
A car accident I was in March.
Was the money for the car or injuries?
For injuries.
And the check was for $2,000 even?
Yes.
Had you negotiated that settlement by yourself, or did you have a lawyer?
It was by myself.
And you settled with them for $2,000?
Yes.
They sent you a check?
Yes.
And you were going to use that check to help pay the down payment?
Yes.
So you had $426 plus the $2,000 check would have been enough for the down payment?
I had $900 cash.
Is that what you gave him?
Yes.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
It's on my phone.
I don't want to hear about bad phones, good phones. When you buy a used car, you have a receipt. Not on your phone, you have a receipt. Do you have the receipt, Mr. Grant?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I want to look at. You have a sales contract.
That is the purchase order.
I have this. Down payment, $2,500. And the balance to be financed was $4,886.41, and the adjusted negotiated price was $64.99.
Okay.
Oh, give
Permission
this
to
back to her,
speak.
please. I'm not interested in that.
Permission to
That's
speak.
nonsense. Okay, the down payment, you signed it. This is a contract. Buyer's signature, his signature, $2,500 down payment. You gave him a check for $2,000. You put the check into your personal account?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
She had came in, she was in a rental car, paying $100 every day for a rental car. She gives me the sad single mom story, this and that. She didn't have a bank account, so she brought the check to like a check cashing place. They were gonna deduct so much money for cashing the check. She couldn't come up with the $2,500 if she was to do that. I had called Farmers Insurance. They told me it was a real check, a real
You
settlement
can't
check.
tell me what they told regarding that.
Okay.
You took the check and you went to your bank.
With Stacy. I asked my bank if she endorses the check to me, there wouldn't be any
Why
fees.
can't she endorse the check over to the company that you work for?
Because how my company is, or I don't know with any other company, we cannot take a check endorsed. It has to be made out to the company.
I see. Okay, it's reasonable. So you put the check in, and then what happened?
I deposited the check on May 2nd. On May 3rd, I had withdrew $1,500 for the deposit. I had loose cash. I was going to leave the remaining balance in my account with the money I already had in my account. I pulled out $1,500, adjusted the price with the $2,000 with the cash that I had, and I signed the paperwork on the 3rd with Stacy, giving her the down payment, which in return goes back to my company.
Take out the whole $2,000. The down payment here says $2,500.
Technically, the check had not cleared yet. Even though my standings with the bank was available to me, it was still took a 5-day hold on the bank.
So, what'd you take out $1,500 for, if it hadn't cleared?
Because I wanted.
And what do you mean you adjusted the price? What does that mean you adjusted the price?
Not the price of the vehicle. I had cash outside of the bank. I took out the $1,500 and left the balance in my bank for Stacy.
Just a second. You left the $500 in your account for her. The other $500 doing?
I already had that in my pocket. I left $500 in my account.
Ah, two scammers. Anyway, what happened with the check?
She refused to settle, and they pulled the check back.
If I were to call Farmers Insurance, would they tell me that this check was paid?
That it was paid?
Paid!
I don't know what they... Can I talk, please?
No, you're going to answer my question.
I don't know what they would tell you. They told me when I cashed it, that means I settle. They say, when you cash this check, that means you agreed to settle. I cashed it because I needed a car. I wanted to settle. I wanted the $2,000 to get a vehicle.
Of course they said to you, if you cash this check, that means you accept this settlement.
Yeah.
So what he says you did was you gave him the check, which looks like a perfectly valid check, that he was cashing at his bank. And then you said to them, I'm not settling with you.
Nope. I did not. I would not do that, and I did not do that.
Okay. We'll get a number for Farmers Insurance and find out. We'll recall this case. Thank you.
Please excuse. This case will be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If it will be clear to the local police department that she committed grand larceny, unless, madam, you are prepared to return the car. Are you prepared?
I heard pounding on the door sound like someone was kicking in her door, and I had no idea what was going on. So my wife runs downstairs. In the meantime, I'm getting dressed.
Just a second. You hear pounding at the door, you had no idea what was going on, and your wife went down to answer the door?
Yes.
My kind of guy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
In a case recalled from earlier today, car salesman Shane Grant says former client Stacy McMahon defrauded him regarding the sale of a car.
Yeah, this is a recall of case number 93 on the calendar in the matter of Grant versus McMahon.
Thank you.
Parties are reminded you're still under oath.
Okay. Let me tell you this, Mr. Grant. I have, in fact, communicated with farmers. And you are absolutely correct. Miss McMahon did not cash that check because she did not accept the settlement. She gave you that check fraudulently, knowing that she was not going to sign the settlement agreement because the claim that you made against the insured of Farmers is still pending because you declined to accept the $2,000 settlement. So this is what my order is going to be, sir. First, that you will go with a marshal and pick up the car. That's one. And that she committed fraud, and I am going to give you a copy of this tape so that it will be clear to the local police department that she committed grand larceny, unless, madam, you are prepared to return the car. Are you prepared to return the car?
I'll return it.
Perfect.
Fine, whatever.
Perfect.
I didn't do any
Just
of this.
a second. Just a second.
purposely.
Right now, you are not out any money. You drove the car for a month. At best, you paid him $400. At best, if I believe that. So if you're prepared to return the car, I don't have to do the rest. The rest is grand larceny, because that's what you committed when you gave him that check, knowing that you had not filed and signed the settlement of claim. So when are you going to return the car?
As soon as I fly back. But I did not.
Just a second. That's all I want to know. You are returning the car day after tomorrow.
That's
in
fine.
the same condition that you got it.
That's
Do
fine.
you understand?
Yes.
I no longer work for that company.
She's returning the car to the company. And court is therefore entering a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Bye, folks.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Yeah, it never pays to be the nice guy. You know, car guys get such a bad rap for being hustlers and this and that.
When I was given that,
I actually go above and beyond to try and help somebody out, and this is what happened.
but then I needed a car to have for my kids because I had no vehicle, and so I cashed it thinking
She told me she was gonna bring me back the car while I still work for that company.
I was settling, choosing to settle. I didn't know that because I hadn't signed the paperwork. I did none of this intentionally, and he should know that.
But I ended up losing my job because of this.
Because I'm not like that, dude. My word's my word, and I'm not like that.
I try to help out a single mom, and this is what I get.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of McNulty versus Jackson. Step forward.
Timothy McNulty is suing his former neighbor, Carly Jackson, for kicking his car after she was bit in the face by his dog.
Mr. McNulty, are you and Miss Jackson still neighbors?
No,
Who moved?
she did.
When did you move?
2 weeks ago?
Did you own your home?
Yes.
Did this problem cause your selling your house?
No.
Okay. Now, this is what I gather happened. At some point in September of 2014, that's 2 years ago, the defendant came to your home. Your dog bit her twice. Is that right?
It bit my daughter first, and then me 13 months later, yes.
So after your daughter was bitten, you continued to be friends with the plaintiffs?
Yes, I just...
And they kept the dog?
Yes.
Did you initiate a lawsuit after your daughter was bitten?
No, I didn't.
Did you initiate a lawsuit?
Well, yes, I did.
You hired an attorney?
Yes.
And was there a settlement?
Yes.
And what was the settlement?
For me, it was $150,000, and my daughter's is still pending, or it's finishing up. It was $160,000.
Now, this is what your claim is, sir. Your claim is that there was some sort of a kerfuffle in September of 2014. You acknowledge that your dog bit the defendant, but you say during the course of this kerfuffle, the defendant kicked your car several times. That's what you're suing for.
Yes.
So, first, were you present when she kicked the car?
I witnessed it out my window.
Why don't you tell me what you witnessed 2 years ago?
Okay, I was in bed sleeping, and apparently...
What time?
I assume probably 2 or 3 in the morning, something like that. And basically, I heard pounding on the door, sound like someone was kicking in her door. My wife was
You
up.
heard pounding at the door.
Correct.
And?
And I had no idea what was going on. So my wife runs downstairs. In the meantime, I'm getting dressed.
Just a second. 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear pounding at the door. You had no idea what was going on, and your wife went down to answer the door?
Yes.
My kind of guy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After I was bitten and I turned around to go home, she pretty much said a lot of, "You're a drunk." All the above, as my lip is literally hanging from my face.
Had you been drinking together?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Timothy McNulty says former neighbor Carly Jackson damaged his car when she repeatedly kicked it.
Now, go ahead.
So anyways, I went to go get dressed, and I heard all the commotion outside, so I look outside, and that's when I saw her just kicking the crap out of the car.
Did you kick his car? Did you kick his car? It's a simple question. You kicked his car?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Well, after I was bitten and I turned around to go home, she pretty much said a lot of rotten things like, "I told you to leave my dog alone, you're a drunk." All the above, as my lip is literally hanging from my face. Never did she offer to call the ambulance.
Had you been drinking together?
I was literally there for 15 minutes. We took 1 shot of Jaeger.
15 minutes.
Where
had you been before? If this is 2 o'clock in the morning.
I was home in bed. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning because I was home in bed. I had posted a picture of my 3-year-old at the time, and she saw it, and she commented on it. And then one thing led to another.
What do you mean you posted a picture of your 3-year-old doing what?
She actually had fallen asleep on the bathroom floor while I was painting her nails. I posted it on Facebook, boxed me or text messaged me saying that she was upset. Her daughter was leaving for college. Her daughter had borrowed the work van and she hadn't been home and she was really upset. Could I come over? And I said, sure. I armed my home alarm. I walked down there. And then right when I had walked down there, she had told me, never mind, my daughter just contacted me. She's on her way home. Everything's okay. Would you like to have a drink? And I said, sure. We took 1 shot, and then her 3 dogs were present in the garage with me. She took the 2 dogs inside for some weird reason, but left Jake with me, which I thought was odd because it just had bit my daughter previously. And When she had come out, Jake was kind of like following me like a normal dog would, so I'd bend over and pet it, you know, being politically correct. And then I'd kind of move over and follow me again. And then after about the third time, I had knelt down to pet the dog, and I looked up to talk to her, looked back down, and before I knew it, it had bit my face, but it didn't feel like anything bad. It felt like a scratch.
Okay, so when you walked out, you kicked the car?
Yes.
Okay.
A
Now,
little more to it,
what
though.
kind of, just a second.
Okay.
What kind of car was it?
It's a 2013 Chevy Spark.
I have pictures, Your Honor, if you would like to see pictures of the car and my daughter's face and my face.
No. You got a settlement for yourself for $150,000, so clearly their homeowners insurance found them responsible, and you have a settlement pending that either they accepted responsibility or they didn't, and the insurance company decided that they were responsible. They were culpable. I believe that you were injured. Otherwise, you would not have received a settlement. I would, however, like to see pictures of the car.
Sure.
I have those.
I'd like to see it. It's the back panel, is that right?
It's the hood, all four doors, and it's hard to get photos of some of the angles.
Well, let me ask you this question, sir.
Yes.
You paid cash for this car?
Yes. Well, no, I'm sorry. No, it was financed, but
It was financed. Then it had full coverage on it. You had a
Yes.
deductible.
correct.
And how much was your deductible?
I didn't file with the insurance company because of this claim, and they advised me to wait till after the claim was over.
Oh, well, you have a deductible, so I don't care what they
My
advised
deductible
you.
is $1,000.
What? Show me.
I don't have that.
I have the police report where he had said that he was going to turn it in to...
All right, listen. He has full coverage because he has to have it because the car is financed. And all he has to show me is that he has a $1,000 deductible. Not a $500 deductible, but a $1,000 deductible. Because you're suing her for almost $4,000. She's not going to pay you $4,000.
We made an original agreement to, they take care of theirs, we take care of ours, but they broke that agreement and then sued the insurance company.
She's going to pay the deductible.
Okay?
I just have to know what the deductible is.
It's $1,000. I don't have that with me.
You'll get it.
Okay?
That's what we have fax machines for. Case will be recalled. That's it. Insurance company will tell me what in 2013 your deductible is.
Parties are excused. This case will be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
That's a recall case number 111 in the matter of McNulty versus Jackson. Parties are reminded you're still under oath.
Okay, Mr. McNulty, do you have the information
Yes.
that I need? I'd like to see it, please. Great. You say you have a $1,000 deductible.
Yes, can I make a statement regarding that, though? I didn't want to claim this on my insurance company because I'm already in enough trouble with the homeowner's insurance. So I wanted to go directly for her to make it look a little better as far as me being canceled. And this was advice from my insurance to go after her directly.
First of all, I don't care.
Okay?
Second of all, that's hearsay, that it was advice from your insurance. Of course you're... So we don't have to pay it. That's what I would do if I was an insurance company. I would say, you know what? Why don't you handle this without insurance?
Okay.
Did you fix your car?
No,
Why not?
because we were waiting to get a check
2
from
years?
them.
You've been waiting 2 years?
Because that's what they promised us to do. They were going to pay.
Well, I'm asking you, is what you're telling me that you've been waiting 2 years to fix your brand new car?